I'm gonna pause this for a moment. Okay, now's the time. I had a fun thing to be planned after doing the stream. I gotta get it set up though, so I'm gonna put on some music. And you're gonna have to bear with me, but you can still chat and we can have a good time. I'm gonna get off the game. We're gonna put on some tunes, and we're gonna have a little, a fun thing. I think it'll be fun. I plan on making a YouTube video out of this, by the way. Maybe a TikTok or two out of this, but basically, let's put some Xenoblade music back on. I wish I had, like my stream playlist. I'm just gonna cue a bunch of random Xenoblade songs. Let's put on some good stuff. Start with this one, and I'll cue some others, but that is really loud. Classic Xenoblade 1 track. Yippee! Alright, I've got to, this is probably not the best idea. I probably should have set this up prior, but you know me. Oh, I gotta lower it, or increase this. This is the most intense theme for this event. Alright, we gotta get... have to add a source, I think. This is actually kind of a big event too, for me. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but... it's gonna take a little bit of setting up. Display capture, I think? Actually, no, not this. I want to do window capture. Window capture, there we go. Alright, so yeah, here's my browser, here's the thing. I need to put my webcam though, so I gotta lower this. No, I gotta get rid of the Elgato. There we go, okay. I gotta lower my Chrome volume as well. I always forget to set up something. Alright, lower to that. Yeah, this song is amazing too, dude. Fucking Xenoblade 1. The fact that this plays during, like, Banner, the Betrayer, the quest, it's actually, like, hilarious. That's so epic. So, what we will be doing... we're going to be going to Tier List Maker. And we are going to be doing a full character tier list for the entire fucking series, or at least the main series, right now. Obviously, it's gonna be a little like, what's it called? Not super, like, I feel like it's a little hard judging some of the Xenoblade 3 and future redeemed characters, like, at this point in time, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So we're gonna go to Xenoblade character list. And I set some rules. Xenoblade Chronicles character tier list. Is this just Xenoblade 1? This does not even have all the characters. Where are the... okay. Is this it? There was one I was looking at in particular that was up to my standard. It might have been... I think it was this one. This is kind of a cute song for this. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of all the irrelevant ones first. I'm gonna make one extra tier. Add a row below. These are going to be... so I'm gonna have 6 tiers here. Actually, no, there's one other tier. 7 tiers. Add a row above. So, over here in the bottom tier, we're gonna have the irrelevant characters who don't deserve the time of day. They are going to be at the bottom of the fucking tier list because they just suck. And up here at the top, we are going to have the Trinity. And it's not going to be Numa, Malos, and Alvis, although they will be probably towards the top. These 3 characters, which I'll do at the end of the list, I'm going to go bottom up. And yeah, Juju. I think it's going to be an interesting... I feel like I have a lot of hot takes about some of the characters in the series, so... this Cyan tier up here. This is S tier. This is the trendy, and down here, this is the relevant tier list. I gotta get rid of some of the, there's like rare blades from Xenoblade 2. I'm not gonna add those in this tier list because, it's just not worth it. Like I kind of want to focus on story. So yeah, this is gonna be black. This is gonna be, oh wait, you can't see the word. Shit. All right, I guess I'll make it purple. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, obviously, there's a tier list, but I'm going to go from the bottom up, starting with irrelevant, making our way up, going through every game, obviously, and its DLCs in order, and we're slowly going to get to better and better characters. These characters are going to be based off of how much I enjoy them, obviously, personal preference, like, their development, story, like, their, dynamics with the other characters, overall personality, design, voice acting, and just how fun they are to play as, if that applies, which is a lot of the characters, obviously. But yeah, let's begin. After I get rid of the irrelevant characters, well, I'm actually going to put these in a below irrelevant. I'm going to do, these are not applicable, which is going to be all the rare blades and the heroes from Xenoblade 3. I'm gonna put these on black. So yeah, I'm gonna put where all the rare blades starting at. So starting with here we go. Yeah, Cosmos, yeah. So obviously no Xenosaga either. Technically, obviously Cosmos would apply, but get rid of all these guys. Shouldn't take too long, hopefully. 2A. Now, I know you're a big Xenoblade 3 fan, and trigger warning, a lot of my opinions on the Xenoblade 3 main cast are not super high, but well, I'll try to explain myself the best as possible. I also need to really go back and watch the Xenoblade 3 cutscenes again, because it's been so long, and I feel like me sitting down by myself and actually digesting all the shit off stream would be huge. Yeah, 2A. I apologize in advance. I feel like we have kind of opposites in terms of preference when it comes to a lot of the games and characters in the series. Alright, I'm almost done getting rid of all these guys. Yeah, there's so many rare blades. There's like fucking 30 rare blades. Alright, Aegeon stays, Padrake stays, Polybuster, no, Telos, Crosset, and Corvin. Alright, good. They're done. Now I just got to get rid of the heroes that aren't story-based, which are, starting with... Well, Izzard is technically in the main story. Some of them are. Is Valdi? Valdi's technically part of the main story. Like, there's a few, like, heroes and rare blades that are technically part of the story, right? So, I think I'll leave those in, but they're probably not going to be too high on this list. Yeah, you don't count Valdi or Izzard? Alright, well, yeah, they do nothing. Well, just... I have to be inclusive, because there's a few characters that are in the same vein. They'll probably end up in the irrelevant or C tier list anyway, but... Yeah, Fiona, Triton. I really do like Ashira. I plan on doing a separate tier list for the rare blades and heroes. So I'll do that at another time, but... Teach. Juniper's technically one of those blades that I think is part of the main story, so I'll leave her in. I guess. Here's an epic theme as well. Who is this? I don't even know who this is. Gray. And so I leave Juniper. I think I accidentally moved one by accident. I don't know where I put it. But basically, okay, starting at the irrelevant tier list. Oh, wait, we got rid of D tier. Where did that go? Add row below. There we go. Triton? Yeah, where did I put Triton? No, this console's not Triton. I don't know who this is. Maybe this is Dirk. Like Dirk from, like, the one who fuses with, what's his name? Yorin. I think Yorin, right? X? No, X is right here. And Y is right here. D. Change the color. Okay, I think we're ready to begin. So, starting with the irrelevant tier list, I think I'm going to be putting almost every character from Future Connected on here because Future Connected, not the best installment, definitely the weakest in the series by far when it comes to the Xenoblade, except for these two, obviously. Like, Gaelgar, dude, trash. Dude, literally just racist high Entia 2.0. I didn't even remember this guy's name, dude. This is the guy from Grandel who helps you do something. As well as this Machina guy, don't remember his name either. I plan on replaying Future Connected, but these guys did nothing significant. Like, let's be real here. Yeah, no kidding 2A. For real, like, Future Connected, just not the best. It was cool. I enjoyed it for what it was worth. I didn't have to pay extra for it. Came with the game, so you can't complain too much. But compared to everything else, not very good. Was that every character from there? I think so. Minus, so this kid, Thielen, this is actually an NPC from the main game who actually has a kind of a cool side quest. So just because of that, he's getting D tier instead of irrelevant tier because his side quest is cool because his side quest is like trying to, I think, restore the capital or try to decipher like the Hyentia language, which I think also like plays into Future Connected, which I thought was really cool, honestly. I don't know how much they dive into that, but I also know that Tyrea is like her, like the caregiver for Thielen or whatever. But Thielen is in the main game, obviously the NPC, but I thought that was cool. So D tier, he goes. Obviously not great, but other than that, I'm probably going to put most of the Torna characters who don't do anything, like this guy. Dude, I don't even remember this guy's name either. I think this is the guy who talks with Amalthus, who like tries to plot to like overthrow the Praetorium, whatever. I don't remember his name, but he's irrelevant. Very important actually in terms of the overall lore and story of Xenoblade 2, but who cares, dude? He does nothing. He does nothing in the actual sense of like relevancy for the main story. Is he the guy that makes Laura's dad at the end? What do you mean? Laura's dad? You mean, I think you're thinking of Gort. Gort, oh yeah, like the Blade Eater. Gort is not her dad. That I know for sure. I think he was like more of like a stepdad. But we'll get to him later. So there's him, and then there's the, what's it called? Who else from Future Connected? Dude, this guy fucking sucks, dude. This guy's Zetar or whatever. I'm putting him at the bottom. This guy's the worst. All he did was fucking complain about how Adam was like not fit for the throne, even though this guy didn't do fucking shit. This is one of the worst characters in the whole series. He sucks. And then he makes the deal with the Malthus to like do hush hush on the fact that he's not Adam's descendant. So this guy's just the worst overall. Useless, is like a scumbag towards Adam, who's an amazing character, and just like makes it like he causes Tantal's decline all because this he's a loser. So he sucks. He's the worst. Is there anyone else that is just absolute trash? Let's see. Through Torna, I don't think there's any other character from Torna that I would put that low. But not much higher. Who is this? I don't even know who this guy is. This is from Xenoblade 3. 2A, who is this guy? I don't remember him. Is he in the main game or Future Redeemed? Because even if it's Future Redeemed, I can't even tell who this is. Who is this guy? Well, he's going to relevant tier. No, that isn't. No, you're thinking of Bolearis. This is not Bolearis. I don't know who this is. Bolearis is right here. I have no clue who this is. So, even more fitting for the irrelevant tier. Even more evidence to put him there. Okay, this kid, fucking Garvel, also irrelevant tier list. This kid sucks. He's in the Lanz's side quest, but all he does, he's kind of similar to Zetar, because all he does is complain about like people being better than him. He has a lot of ego, and he has no reason to have an ego because he sucks. He's terrible, and he just sucks, dude. F tier. And the worst part is, dude, it's so funny. Lanz is like, yeah, him and the rest of his squadron got transferred to some other colony. They died immediately. What a surprise, dude. He fucking sucked. No shit, he died immediately. So he's irrelevant tier. Bottom. He sucks. Is there anyone else? Let's see. Out of Xenoblade 1, I would put Yumea in the irrelevant tier list because Yumea is also a terrible character. Her only purpose is to sabotage Melia because she's not pure Hyentia, so she's just like a racist Hyentia, terrible personality, and like, other than that and trying to assassinate her, she does like nothing else. Like, she disappears. She gets put under court-martialed. So, yeah, Yumea blows. She's irrelevant because she sucks. I gotta save some for D tier though. I don't know why this picture of Tyree is really bad. We definitely have some good contenders for D tier coming up pretty soon though, but no more characters in Xenoblade 1. Xenoblade 2. Oh, here's two characters from Xenoblade 2. Oh, here's Triton. Put him over here too. Here's two characters from Xenoblade 2 that are definitely irrelevant. Cressidus and Perdido. These are the blades of Mikhail and Patroka during Chapter 4, the fight. For the one fight where they actually have rare blades. And the ironic part is they don't have a single line of dialogue, neither one of them. They're just there to exist. They're basically props. And then obviously it was cool that you got to play as them during the what's it called, New Game Plus of Xenoblade 2, which is really cool. But yeah, irrelevant. During the main story, they do nothing. Literally don't even speak a single word, so, and they're not even really great rare blades either, especially Perdido. He's a fucking ether cannon class who his specializes in auto attack damage. Like, that's a terrible ability. Who would want that? Like, that sucks. And Cressidus, I think he's a tank, like Knuckle Claws. He's kind of goofy. He's got a goofy voice, so I'll give him that. But I don't think that's going to break him from the irrelevant tier list, unfortunately. So yeah, there's that. They're there. Is there anyone else? I'm not so sure. That might be it. You know what? I think I'm also gonna put I actually, well, yeah, I don't even know who this is. This might be Dirk, but if this isn't Dirk sucked even without like knowing. Whatever. He is not a good villain. Like, he had his one like shining moment in the Yorin cutscene, and that was a cool cutscene, but like, it just isn't enough for him to break irrelevant tier list for me. I don't know. Obviously, the most anyone ever talks about him is trying to convince people that Mithra's, like, he's Mithra's kid or whatever. But yeah, oh yeah, you're right. There is that. All right, 2A, you convinced me. He's getting bottom of D tier just for that. The trauma for Uni, because I actually like Uni. I wish Uni had more like connection to like major parts of the story, because I feel like Uni definitely got the short end of the stick when it came to a lot of that, which Uni's my favorite, but we'll get to Uni quite a bit later. But Dirk's D tier wasn't very good. He reminded me of Mumkar, but a lot worse, like way worse. Or he reminded me of Gort, who was a worse version of Mumkar. He's a worse version of Gort, so D tier he goes. Yeah, Uni's great. I really wish he got more, but we'll get to Uni later. I'm gonna change. We've been playing a lot of Xenoblade 1 songs, so let's get some Xenoblade 2 songs in here, so it's not all just one game. let's start here. This is the beginning. All right, back to the tier list. Oh, this is a nice little opening theme. I think there's a very fair point for that too. Like, I honestly think that like 1 and 2 are definitely on par for OST, but I think I actually might listen to the 2 song a little bit more, because 2 really has it all. Like, the battle themes are amazing, the story songs are amazing, like all the lyrical songs, the area themes are great. But talk about the OST another time. All 3 games have really great OST. Especially Future Redeemed really packed a punch. I thought Xenoblade 3, the main game, was pretty good. But Future Redeemed, like, that had a really good soundtrack. Yeah, I think 1 nowadays definitely gets a lot of, like, I feel like 1 is so underrated now. 1 has so many good songs. Like, people kind of don't look at it as high as 2 or 3, and I don't really understand that. Obviously, I have a personal bias there, but still, not so sure about that. But I love them all. They're all very good. But moving on to D tier now, we have Lorithia for sure. Lorithia is very annoying. She's another villain. She's probably the worst villain in Xenoblade 1 by far, I would argue. Just because she's really annoying. She's in the background and, like, whines all the time. Very, like, she's, like, disrespectful in, like, the worst way possible. Because, like, I feel like Mumkar and, like, a lot of the other villains are very, like, teasing and they, like, want you to hate them. But Lorithia does it in the worst way possible, where she's just, like, kind of annoying, a brat, like, really, disrespectful to Melia in particular, obviously with the whole Callian part, but she's just very mid. She'll pay for your insolence. The boss fight sucks. The fact that they spawned in 20 Nebula to make it, like, artificially difficult was really stupid. So, yeah, Lorithia is kind of mid. Definitely one of the worst characters in Xenoblade 1. Who else? I'm also going to put Linata in this tier, because Linata is also... I would even argue Linata gets put in fucking irrelevant, because her only character is trying to help Fiora, like fix Fiora's body. Like, she doesn't have any character outside of that. And obviously that's like, it's like kind of a cool thing that isn't even... Like, they talk about it a lot in Xenoblade 1, obviously Fiora's body breaking down and whatnot, but it really didn't go too much further than that. So, yeah, Linata's not super interesting. She's D tier. Yeah, 2A. That fight sucks. Obviously, that's like the bane of first-time players' existence. Like, play as Melia or use Fiora and use Final Cross or something like that. It's difficult. It sucks. I actually don't know if there's any other characters from Xenoblade 1 I would put in D tier. Moving on to Xenoblade 2, though. Actually, I'm gonna put Dunga. I'm gonna put Dunga in D tier because he's kind of funny. Actually, no, I'm not gonna put Dunga in D tier because he's kind of funny and has a cool design. So I'll wait. Dunga will be slightly higher than that, but not by much. Xenoblade 2. Who do I want to put in D tier? Yep, definitely Abrona. Abrona is quite annoying as well. Very annoying voice. Her and Akos, yeah, kind of like a little annoying, nasty duo going on there. I didn't feel bad at all when she died. Akos cared, but obviously, he had a little thing going on. It was his blade. And Abrona as a rare blade, I think she uses, like, rings. If you play as her in New Game Plus, she's not great. She's not the worst, but annoying character, not super relevant. It doesn't do very much. She has a good ability. It's like Haze, but wasted on an annoying character. So D tier for Abrona. Mui is also going in D tier for pretty obvious reasons. Once again, irrelevant, but he has some funny moments with Banner. And you know, most people, Mui, most people forget about him because he's not very interesting, in the words of Tora. But he's got a kind of a silly voice. Yeah, Mui not very interesting. But his voice is kind of funny. And that whole segment with Banner is kind of goofy. So just because of that, I'll give him D tier. But yeah, not very interesting. The Queen of Uriah is going to go in D tier because she's also, considering she's the Queen of Uriah, she's actually very irrelevant. The only times where she actually, like, plays a role in the story is when they're talking about, like, obviously the scene where in Temperantia with Jin and the blade device, or the, what's it called, the Titan weapon. Other than that, I don't think she's in the story at all. Just little parts here and there. And, if anything, Nile, or what's it called? Nile. Yeah, it's hard. Nile and Niall are two different characters now. But, yeah, she doesn't do very much, and she doesn't really, like, stand out as... Yeah, she just doesn't do very much. Not very relevant, but not as bad as the irrelevant tier list characters. Like, I feel like D tier is, like, almost irrelevant, pretty much. Might as well, like, label it that. Take it that as is. Let's see, any other Xenoblade 2 characters in that tier? I don't think so. I don't think there's any other characters that are worthy in Xenoblade 2 in there. Who else do we want to put in D tier? I'm going to put the King of Torna in here, because I really need to replay Torna, because it's been so long since I've seen those cutscenes, and Torna I think is amazing. But he just doesn't have that many, like, crazy scenes. Like, they have the one meeting scene with Adam where they talk about, like, Malos or whatever. The only thing that puts him on D tier, other than irrelevant, is that he kind of went down with the ship. He respected Adam, and that's pretty hype. You know, Adam was goated, and he deserved the trust, and he went down with Torna, so he just got my respect for that. So D tier for the King of Torna. He doesn't even get a name, which is, like, kind of crazy. Does not get a name, even though he's the king. But, yeah, so D tier for the King of Torna. I'm gonna put Borealis on D tier because, it's so funny that you thought the other character was Borealis, but Borealis doesn't do very much. He's kind of goofy. And I think he's in the cutscene where, like, right before you fight Ethel, before you go to the castle, like, he, like, warns you or something like that, but I don't ever remember Borealis doing very much. Like, he's in some of the side quests and whatnot, but I like most of the other characters on this tier in particular. Either they're not very interesting, don't do very much, or, like, they're just, like, not, like, they're like, annoying. I wouldn't say Borealis is annoying, just, like, not relevant, just like the rest of most of them. So, he's D tier. What's it called? Who else? Oh, definitely Y, dude. Y? Y fucking sucks, dude. He, like, has the one scene in, like, what's it called? Chapter 6, I think it is, where obviously, like, he has the colony and Omega and he's doing experiments, but the Mobius, most of them just suck, dude. The Mobius have no, like, their incentive is literally just, like, so one-dimensional. Like I said, N and M were, like, two of the only cool Mobiuses, because they actually had, like, lore and backstory and all that. Y sucked. And X and Y, I made the joke when I played it the first time. Dude, this guy didn't even get a cutscene from when he died. You fight him, and then he just disappears, and that's it. That's how little he matters in the overall scheme of things. So he's D tier, where he belongs. And, yeah, I'm gonna put Juniper on, because I think Juniper is technically part of the story as well. But, I don't actually dislike Juniper as a character. I think she's, like, kind of interesting. I respect that she has kind of the outcast colony, and her design's alright, but obviously she does nothing in the main story other than it's like a required quest that you have to do. I'm pretty sure, at least. I think you have to do that colony... No, not Iota. Tau? I think it's Tau. You have to do that quest, I think, to progress. But yeah, Colony Town, and her class is so bad. She has, like, one of the worst attacking class in the whole game, because I am factoring in gameplay and how fun the character is to play. So far, we have not had many characters where you could play. I think the only two are these two, Juniper now, and then a Brona, but you know, very little in terms of that. Like that's just they're like literally like New Game Plus for most of them, and Juniper is just not very fun. So D tier for Juniper. Valdi is also going there for almost the same exact reason. You have to do the quest. He's in the story, but you have to do the quest. Valdi is actually less interesting than Juniper because all Valdi does is wants to build Levnesses. Like that's his only like personality trait, and like that's cute, okay, but like there's not much more to it than that. Like his side quest is all right. I like actually building the Pharaonis in his side quest is like kind of interesting, but his class is actually decent. Really good for healing, but not very fun to play, especially if you don't have fusion arts, which at that point you have 1 or 0. So Valdi D tier. Who else is getting D tier? Is there anyone else getting D tier in here? Maybe not. I might go back later and change some things, but that might be D tier as it stands right now. Yeah. Moving on to C tier, we're slightly getting better. These characters are like kind of mid. Some of them I actually like in some regards, but they're not enough to be called like great. They're like good. They're alright characters. So not really deserving of hate, but starting C tier, I'm gonna put in Saurian Antiqua, the king, aka Melia's dad. Obviously, like he's only relevant obviously for the Alchemorph Prison Island part, but that part of the game is so good, and he plays a pretty big part in that section of the game, and his whole like monologue at the end was really good, with Melia saying how like she's the hope of the High Entia, he loves her. Melia is definitely like gets impacted by that, like that's a very crucial moment for Melia. Definitely very impactful for her. And cool design, cool voice actor. This cutscene with Shulk where they're talking about like the future and the lore of the High Entia was cool. So Saurian Antiqua gets C tier. Vinaya is gonna get C tier. Vinaya is honestly on the verge of D tier as well, because Vinaya like Vinaya is really only there to like, she's like basically like a lore character. Like she only exists so that like Maineth was able to get like implanted in Fiora, and like the connection to Egil and explaining all the backstory of Mechonis. Like she has very little character other than that. You know, she's like Egil's sister and like McCall's daughter, but it's whatever, you know. Not too much going on there. So Vinaya is C tier. Not anything too crazy with her in terms of personality or interaction with other characters. So yeah, C tier for Vinaya. Also getting C tier for McCall. I think McCall would be lower if not for he has such a crazy design. One of the craziest looking Machina characters, and his voice is iconic, and his laugh, like the that shit is great. So for that reason and that reason only, McCall is C tier. He has very little dialogue in scenes, but he's kind of goofy. Love his design, and he's got a good voice, and that's enough for me sometimes, because I put a lot of value into he's Daddy Pig from Peppa Pig. Exactly, dude. He's just a goofy guy. He's kind of cool. I wish we got to see more of him. If only he played more of a role in Xenoblade 1, but for what it's worth, C tier for McCall. I wonder if Shulk inspired to name his son Nicole after Nicole the Machina, because they're very similar, but who knows? Anyways, Dunga is also D tier. I would say for the same reason as McCall, because he like doesn't do hardly anything. He does actually significantly less than McCall. Like he sends everyone off on the mission. He does actually recruit Ricky, so that is kind of something. Although Ricky in his own right doesn't do very much in terms of the overall story. But yeah, so Dunga's goofy. He's got a goofy voice. crazy design, just like McCall. So yeah, he gets that tier. Just for that alone, goofiness, cool design, and a little bit of a tiny bit of story impact, but cool enough. That might be it. Oh no, I'm going to put actually there's a few more characters I probably want to put on C tier. I'll put Juju on C tier. It's so funny. I put Juju above all these other characters just because Juju's such a meme character. Like, people hate on him, and like for good reason, but it's just so funny. He gets captured 3 times in the span of like an hour's worth of story. Like, that's hilarious. You watch all the like, he's got like so much like meme potential. Like, if you watch like, I grew up during the YTP era of Xenoblade 1, and like there's just so many funny jokes you can make with Juju. Like, it's great. He's a meme and more relevant than any of these characters below, and honestly probably more funny and like stands out more than any of the other characters I've already played so far. So Juju gets C tier. I actually might arrange the, because I kind of want to do it in order of who I prefer on the tier list. Like Juju would be above Dunga or something like that. I'll change that after I'm done with C tier. Yeah, nope. To a Juju, I just explained, Juju, he's got the memes. The memes alone make Juju worth C tier. Juju is more relevant than any of these other characters I've talked about in terms of like the series. Like, when do you ever hear people talking about Dunga or Vinaya or McCall or any of these characters? People talking about Juju because he's a meme. He's not irrelevant. He's so irrelevant that he is relevant. So he's C tier. Fair enough. That's game. So Juju C tier. I'm also going to put Mayneth on C tier. Mayneth is really cool. I put Mayneth like higher C tier because Mayneth, obviously very crucial in terms of like the overall story. But once again, she's kind of like a lore character more than anything else. She explains the history of the Mechonis and like the whole dynamic with Zanza. She has a kind of a cool dynamic with Fiora, obviously, like sharing the body and the memories. And during the Mechonis core cutscene, she has a great moment where she obviously like has the fight and comes out and obviously perishes sadly, but obviously not the most like, she doesn't get too much screen time, and she's impactful, but she gets a very slim margin of exposure. So high C tier for Mayneth. Cool character, but not as impactful as all the other characters that are going to be B tier and above. That's like the dividing line. Once you get to B tier is going to be the tier where like things actually start to matter, or like I really like the character. So I think that might be it for C tier for Xenoblade 1 characters. Xenoblade 2 characters. Actually, no, I'm going to put Gato. Gato is going to be in C tier too. I'm going to put Gato slightly below Mayneth. Because Gato, for similar reasons, obviously he's kind of linked to Sharla, and Sharla is not the most interesting character in Xenoblade 1. I actually do. I think Sharla is overrated, or overhated. But still, obviously, in the grand scope of Xenoblade 1, like, the fact that the Colony 6 stuff with Juju and Zord and all that happened so early in the game, and by the time you actually see Gato again, like, there's so many more important things going on in the story, you know, like, people don't care as much. Like, they want to see Egil, they want to see, like, a whole fight go down, the Mechonis, so, like, Gato kind of gets pushed to the wayside just because of how late he shows up. Although the scenes where he does show up, I think are great. I think the interaction with him and Ryan right before like the Egil fight, that's a great scene. Like, very underrated scene between them. And he sacrificed himself. That was cool. His Mechon is really cool design, Jade face. And obviously he's like the final echelon of, you know, the face Mechon in terms of like their memories being wiped. Like, he was supposed to be the penultimate Mechon who couldn't be cured, or his memory is completely wiped, but Mayneth saved the day and brought Gato back for one last finale. So I think Gato's a decent character, but in the overall scope of the game, probably like wasn't done as much justice as maybe he should have, but decent character, not bad. So that's going to be it for Xenoblade 1 characters, I think. Now, we're going to move on to Xenoblade 2 characters, C tier. Who am I going to put on C tier? Honestly, none. I'm going to put Rock. Rock is going to go on C tier. I actually like Rock a lot, but Rock is like one of the most underutilized characters in Xenoblade 2 because obviously he was Van Damme's blade, and then he gets passed on to Rex. But once they awaken Rock, you never see him ever again. Like, even, like, there should have been, like, some sort of bonding moment between, like, Rock and Rex during Moritha when Rex doesn't have, like, Pyra and Mithra. Obviously, like, Chapter 6 has a lot of good development for the other characters, but that would have been a good time to, you know, give Rock some more screen time because his design is really cool. The dual sides are really awesome class. His voice is kind of neat. Fun fact, actually, Rock's voice actor is the same voice actor as Mikhail. So if you didn't know that, there's your fun fact of the day. But I think Rock's actually really cool. He's, once again, like some of these other characters, a little underutilized and deserved more screen time. But he's cool. I really liked him. I'm probably gonna put him above Gado and under Maineth. Maineth's probably gonna be the top of C tier, unless I find someone slightly more worthy of that. Who else? Gramps is gonna be C tier as well. I'm probably gonna put Gramps actually lower than Rock. Gramps was like, I don't know. He was kind of... Gramps, like, has his moments, Azurta, whatever. I don't actually remember what he does in Torna. He has, like, a scene with Jin that I think was kind of cool. That was alright. But in the main game, like, Rex and Gramps dynamic is kind of cute at times. But, only for, like, select moments. Like, he's just kind of in the background. Like, he's not... He's like, the most hands-off mentor character for most of the game. And, like, I don't know, it's the points where he does butt in, I feel like they try to add humor with him, but it's not the best humor. It's not very funny. It's, like, a little cringy at times. I also don't really love his voice as the little mini furry blade guy, whatever this form is, the tiny Gramps form. Didn't love him, honestly. Not my favorite character, but also not the worst. I think he has some good moments, but not... In terms of Xenoblade 2 characters, definitely one of the weaker ones. Definitely one of the weaker ones. Anyone else C tier? I've definitely got a few more. Yeah, Euloginomos, Zeke's dad, is going to be C tier. I'm probably going to put him... right next to Soren Antiqua for pretty much the same reason. Like, the little arc part where he is in the game, he's kind of cool. He, obviously it's kind of scum for capturing Pyra and trying to destroy her, but I think he had, like, a kind of fair enough reason to do so. He has a cool voice, and his cutscenes with Zeke are cool. He also has the Salvage King side quest. I think that's what it's called, the Salvage King. That's a really cool side quest. But he's kind of a cool lore character, definitely added to the whole Tantal arc of it. And, yeah, I don't hate him. He has some pretty cool moments, but not many, so... I could respect him for having to put up with an empire that was, like, collapsing. That's kind of a tough situation to be in. But he's C tier. Dougal's gonna be C tier. Dougal is so goofy, dude. I would put Dougal... I'm gonna put Dougal above Gado because Dougal is like the same reason why I put like Juju on this fucking like level is like the one fucking cutscene. He's funny as fuck, dude. The few cutscenes he's in is just like great. Like the whole chapter 2 is like, I feel like chapter 2 Xenoblade 2 is very underrated. Just because, like, it has so many, like, goofy, funny moments with the Ardanians, like, very underrated. I think he's really funny. He's obviously a fucking idiot, and he's, like, not the most relevant character, but just because he's funny and has, like, a few great lines, like, that's enough to get you on C tier, you know, up with the rest of these guys. I definitely like Dougal more than probably anyone else below him, so Dougal's getting C tier. Who else getting C tier? Dude, Wolfric, he's actually going to get the top of C tier, because he's actually the least relevant. I don't know if he has any lines in the story, but he is in the story. You fight him when you fight the big spider with Van Damme. So, he is in the story, and he has no lines, but he's an excellent rare blade. He was a great, amazing character, rare blade. Like, he's really cute. Like, he's like the gentle giant. Great design. He's a Mega Lance. His hero Blade Quest is great. So, yeah, he's the top of C tier just for that alone. Amazing in the gameplay, but irrelevant in the story pretty much completely. But he is in the story, and I'm counting all of his gameplay aspects towards that, because gameplay is a factor. So, he's getting up here with the rest of these guys, because he's that good. What a great rare blade. Definitely one of the top tiers in terms of rare blades, but he'll be on that list as well. Let's see. I'm going to put wait a second. Okay, so I actually don't, unless I'm blind, I do not see Petroka on this tier list. Where's Petroka? I would have put Petroka on C tier. I don't know where Petroka is. That's unfortunate, but I would put Petroka on this tier list as C tier as well. She's probably by far the least interesting member of Torna. She's kind of loud, abrasive, and pretty annoying. Where I would say at least the rest of the members of Torna have some good moments and are actually likable to some degree. She actually is a really good blade in New Game Plus, but her story contributions are like questionable at best. She's kind of an asshole, and one of the probably worst villains in Xenoblade 2. Definitely the worst member of Torna, so I would put her probably put her below Sori and Antiquar, so leave a space there for Petroka. Let's see, any other characters from Torna? I'm not so sure. I'm gonna put Klaus here because he's in one cutscene in this form. I don't know why that was even there, but he's not there. Oh, Aegeon. I'm definitely gonna put Aegeon in C tier. Aegeon, put him here. Aegeon is like the least relevant of all the Torna characters by far, and he plays the same role in both. He's like the silent, strong guy. He's like kind of cool, but he's also very generic. A lot of people mistake him for a common blade. I think he's kind of cool, but like, there's really not too much to him, really. He gets kind of cast aside a lot of the time, so he's despite him looking generic, I think he's got a kind of cool design. The water chroma katana's cool, but doesn't play a very big role even in Torna, where he's like part of the main cast technically. But he's alright. I don't dislike him. He's just kind of cast to the shadow realm. Who else? Oh, yeah, Kino and Nene are definitely getting in C tier as well. I'm gonna put them. I actually probably like Juju more than Kino and Nene. Not gonna lie, Kino and Nene I thought were pretty annoying. That's another thing that bogged down Future Connected a lot for me. Was not a big fan of these two characters. They're like Ricky's kids, which obviously was cool, but the fact that half of the main cast in Future Connected was Noppon, like, that was really not the best choice. that was a tough one. There's only so much Noppon you could take. There's a reason why I feel like the Noppon are not usually like the most forefronted characters. It's like you can only take so much Noppon at a time, and I'd put Kino above Nene, honestly. Nene I thought was a little bit more annoying, even though she was better in terms of gameplay. They just there's a copy of Sharla and Rhine, and why they didn't add Sharla and Rhine instead of them is beyond me. I think the Future Connected would probably have been 10 times better if they did that, but I'm not the game designer. But they're pretty mid. Didn't like them very much, so they're C tier. But I should replay Future Connected because they did have some good scenes, I guess, but I was not in love with them for sure. Yeah, what's up, Crest Expert? Yeah, I only put Juniper in D tier because I'm talking about story blades, and she's just a mandatory character that you have to do, and her class is not fun to play at all. Her class sucks, but she's got a kind of a cool design and decent character, and I liked the whole concept behind the colony. So Juniper is in D tier, but in terms of an overall tier list, I think Juniper is actually decent, not the worst by far, but I'm factoring a lot of different things here, so apologies if you like Juniper. Let's see. In terms of Xenoblade 3, I'd put Manana in C tier as well. Manana, I think I like Manana more than these two, for sure. I'd put Manana, maybe Manana slightly, maybe over here. I'm gonna readjust these once I'm done with C tier, but Manana was alright. She was like kind of cute. Yeah. Alright. Damn, this is actually gonna be kind of tough, but yeah, Manana was alright. Her cooking was nice, and her relationship with what's it called, Riku, is kind of cute, but didn't do anything super significant for me personally. She, like, you know, she filled the role as the Noppon character, and she wasn't the worst Noppon character, I would argue. I think Kino Nene did worse. So Manana's alright. She's not bad. I think, like, if you're like high C tier, like, I like you enough to the point where, like, you're pretty good, you know. Who else? Oh, definitely gonna put Gondor. I'm probably gonna put Gondor, like, lower C tier, because Gondor is really annoying, in my opinion. Like, Gondor has a really fun class, but oh my god, her scenes where she's on screen are, like, kind of unbearable, dude. She literally calls her mom a bitch queen. Like, what an asshole. Her voice is really annoying. The only good interaction that I really liked with her was with Shania in the Senna's Ascension quest, which obviously had nothing to do with Senna, pretty much. That was the only scene where I thought, like, I actually really liked her. Other than that, I would put Gondor below. I'd put her at the bottom of C tier, because she wasn't that great. But she has a really good class. That's about it. And maybe a good scene or two, but very annoying. So C tier for Shania. Or not Shania, Gondor. Let's see. I'm gonna put Monica in C tier as well. I'm gonna put Monica next to I'm gonna put Monica right next to, like, Saurian and Euloginomos for, like, they're all kind of in the same ballpark. Like, she's cool and, like, the lore is alright, but she doesn't do enough to, like, really stand out. She has a pretty good class. She actually has one of the best tank classes, which is good. And she's kind of thick, but I can't give her too many points for that, unfortunately. Can't give her too many points for that. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing really stood out about her too much. Like, the whole arc with the city was kind of cool. And her, like lineage with Van Damme and all that. Obviously, Matthew. If you're related to Matthew, you definitely got some value, but I don't know. She wasn't too striking to me. She was kind of cool, but she made it amongst the mid C tier realm. Who else? Yeah, Chris is C tier. Put Chris here. Chris was, like, kind of cool, but I feel at the point of the game, you're so close to being done. Like, Chris was very confusing. Like, it seemed like he didn't want to be a Mobius, and, like, the whole point of, like, I'm also just very confused in general. Like, does Zed have the choice to choose who's Mobius or not? Like, he didn't seem like he wanted to be Mobius. But he was kind of there. Like, he seemed like the least hostile Mobius in the whole game. Other than maybe, like, N, I guess. But even, or not N, M. But, yeah, Chris, I don't know. He was a little confusing. His scene was kind of cool, but, like, kind of a confusing character for me. I don't really get what he added to the game. I should really rewatch the cutscenes. I think some of my opinions on the Xenoblade 3 characters might change after I rewatch it, but he was kind of a confusing character in my eyes. I didn't really get it. Who else? Nimue? I'm gonna put Nimue in C tier as well, probably next to Chris, honestly. I think the best part about Nimue was in Tyon's Ascension quest, but obviously that's not even the main story technically, but they had a really Tyon and Nimue had a really good cutscene in that Ascension quest. No, yeah, I guess the hero side story, whatever the hell you want to call it, that was pretty good. But in the main story, she's just in like one flashback, and like that's about it. I'll put her above Chris actually. Oh, where did she go? No, not the bottom. I'd say she's below Monica. I'll put her here, but yeah, Nimue. I don't know. Nimue had some good scenes, but very hardly in the story. I feel it's annoying in Xenoblade 3. They had some characters that were so like restricted to like flashbacks. They had like maybe one scene. Like almost all the side story characters had the same issue, which is like kind of sad because there could have been a little bit more than that, but I don't know. A lot of minor characters in Xenoblade 3 that probably should have gotten more screen time and more developed, but yeah, that's Nimue. Mwamba. Mwamba I was debating putting on Irrelevant. I don't know where I'm gonna put Mwamba because it's kind of like a meme, but I don't really get it so much. I'm gonna put Mwamba actually in the top of D tier, or maybe not even the top of D tier. I'm gonna put Mwamba like here, I guess, because he's a meme. I guess he's funny or whatever. I don't really get the joke. Maybe he's another one who's like it's so irrelevant that he's relevant. He doesn't even get a cutscene once he comes back to life or whatever, which is like crazy. Like what happened? So yeah, Mwamba's D tier. Yeah, I don't know. I missed out on it. He's kind of a confusing one to place as well. So sorry, Mwamba, but you're kind of out of place. You got to be in the main party for like a few minutes, like the first chapter, and then that's it. You got slain and thrown to the wayside, unfortunately. Yeah. So let's see. I think we're almost done. Milton. C tier is getting a little hefty, but Milton is going to be C tier as well. I'm going to put Milton right here. Milton, like, I honestly don't remember much of what he doesn't do very much because he's like a kid, obviously, in Torna, but like, the only scene that Milton's like really significant is when he dies, which is kind of unfortunate because the whole dynamic, or the whole scene with Mithra at the end of Torna is like a masterpiece. Like, it's so good. But that's about all he had going. Like, he had some like goofy lines, I guess, but he wasn't very great. Him and Mikhail were kind of cool together. They were a little cute, but nothing too crazy. Dude, he was the original person in the bed with Mithra, so I guess I'll give him some points for that, but he got Mithra's bed attention. Mithra's going to jail for that one. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna put Gort in C tier. I'm gonna put him towards upper C tier because Gort was like not an amazing villain, but I didn't think he was that bad. He was actually kind of cool, especially because he was kind of you see the cutscene of Gort in the main game with the flashback, and then he had a good dynamic with Laura. Just the whole, especially at the ending where he's the bladed, that was crazy. That was like a very striking scene for me. Like, the end of Torna is crazy and great, but he's basically like a worse version of Mumkar, and I think Mumkar is amazing, and I'll talk about Mumkar later on, but he wasn't that bad. I thought he's pretty good, but compared to like Malos, who's the main villain, it's kind of tough to compare, but not too bad. I actually kind of like Gort. He's kind of gross, but still a pretty decent villain with all the added context with Laura and all that. So C tier for Gort, high C tier. 2A, I don't know if you're still here, but I don't know what your feelings are on Xenoblade 3 Van Damme, but I think I'm gonna put Xenoblade 3 Van Damme. I'm gonna put him right under Monica because he has one really cool scene in the beginning that's intense. Chapter 1, which is great, and you know, cool design, classic Van Damme Xenoblade 2, and the voice actor's great, but I thought I could have sworn there would have been some sort of flashback with him later on or something. They talk about him a little bit in like the side quest in the city, but yeah, dude, poor Van Damme Xenoblade 3 Guernica. Wish he got more screen time. He was kind of cool, but for what he's at, he's kind of like mid to low C tier because he only has one really good scene, and that only gets you so far in this tier list. Oh, what happened to the music? Oops. Oh, the video paused. Kind of interrupt drifting, so. Alright. I'm gonna pause for now. I will be back. I gotta eat dinner. I'm probably gonna be back in 3 minutes. I'll stop stream and restart stream once I'm back, if anyone wants to continue watching. But I'll be back. Gotta eat dinner. We'll finish the tier list then. We're more than halfway, I would say. A lot of big characters to go though. So, thanks to everyone who watched the stream. Future Redeemed ending was crazy. And it's been real. Thanks for all the support. We'll be back in a little bit to finish this, but for now, gonna go eat. So, take it easy. Peace out. Oh yeah! We're back, baby! Just gonna wait a few minutes for people to pop back in, and we'll get right on with the tier list to wrap things up and put the Xenoblade series to rest. Kind of crazy to say that, but that's just the reality of the situation. Fucking listening to some Xenoblade X music, of all things. Don't know what the hell this is. I want to listen to songs from the Xenoblade games that I know. Ah, this is a classic. Dude, now that I'm finally done, I gotta go back and I gotta add all the Xenoblade 2 and 3 and Future Redeemed songs to the playlist. There's a lot of good stuff out there. Definitely gotta add the songs. It's probably gonna expand my playlist by like 50 something songs, but the more the merrier. Gotta get right back on it. Probably wait till around the 5-minute mark or so. It's generally when I try to start things. But I figured I'm not gonna start on the starting screen this time just because this is a continuation of the previous stream, but once again underestimated how long I'd be yapping for this tier list, so ended up taking 2 halves of the day to do that. But that's fine because this is just the event I wanted. Need to get all my opinions out in the open so that everyone knows who the objective best Xenoblade characters are. But nothing else. The void. Might lower this just a little bit more, actually. Want this to be kind of a background track. Obviously, we've got some pretty exciting tracks playing in the background here, obviously, but don't want that to overthrow my commentary here. But I think with that, we're gonna get right back into it. So, before we move on to B tier, there actually might be a few more we have to add to C tier, but I think we're gonna go and fix the other tiers. The irrelevant tier. Well, the characters like I actually don't know at all should probably be at the bottom. Like this guy, who I don't even know who this guy is, and all the future connected characters. Gaelgar's terrible. Actually, these two should be at the direct bottom because they're just so bad that they're just so disgusting that they don't deserve anything less than that. Like Garvel, at least I remember him. I'll probably put him above the random, what's it called, guy from Torna, the goon. And then, I'll put Yumea below these two. I think that's about right for the irrelevant tier. And then, yeah, what is this, Dirk? Dirk's pretty mid. I'll probably put Dirk higher though than most of these guys. I'll put Queen of Uriah lower. Going to put... I think I'm going to keep Valdi and Juniper towards the top. I think I like Bolearis more than these two. I think I'm fine with that. There's like a little bit of wiggle room in that D tier, but nothing that's even worth bothering, I'm gonna be honest with you, so I think I'm gonna leave that. C tier, let's see. I feel like Dunga is funny, but I'll put him at the bottom, I guess. So he just doesn't do very much. Let's see. This is kind of a tricky spot as well. I feel like the characters going forward are actually going to be a little easier to place my preference because it's basically like the main characters left for the most part, plus you know a few others. But we'll see if that actually goes to plan. I feel like I like Kino a little bit more than Nene, that's for sure. I might put Juju higher. Do I think I actually like Juju more than Vinaya? Because he's just iconic a meme character. Is he better than Mikol though? Probably. Nimue, like Nimue had a good scene. Monica, these two are decent. I'm probably gonna put Milton lower. I'm probably gonna put Milton right in front of Juju. And then probably gonna put Manana. I think I'm gonna put Manana. I think I'll put Gato ahead of her. Put Gato ahead of Manana. And then let's see. I think I'm pretty happy with this, the way it is right now. Let's see if there's anyone else I want to add to C tier out of our crew here. I don't think so. There's some that you could argue like are like very low B tier, high C tier, like they're on the border, I would say, but oh, well I'm definitely actually no, I do have a few more. X is definitely going on C tier. She's probably at the bottom of C tier honestly. Dude, X fucking sucks. People simp for her. Dude, she's so she feels like a fucking cartoon villain boss. Like those villain of the weeks. She's so generic and just like has nothing, just like the other Mobius. There's nothing going on here. Like she's just basic and doesn't do anything like that stands out. Like she tries to destroy the city, which was foiled by M, who's kind of a boss, but just like Y, she doesn't do anything unique or cool. And Y, the only reason I put her above Y is ironic theme, perfect theme to start to play, but yeah, like she doesn't do hardly anything like of importance and has no character. She's just evil. That's her character. She's evil, and she doesn't really have like any sort of like really good charisma going, or like, I don't know, really boring character. And once again, she dies in chapter 7 and no cutscene for her death. She just vanishes. That's how irrelevant she is. So she's bottom of C tier. She sucks, dude. And anyone who says otherwise is a simp. Sorry to say. But yeah, that's for that. And then I'll put Izzard here. Well, Izzard? I'll put Izzard above her, actually. I'll put Izzard above I feel like that's tough putting it. I'll put him at the bottom of C tier as well, just because he doesn't really have any part in the story. Like, he's a very neutral character. He's not, like, that interesting. He's got a decent class, but I think I'm going to put him actually in D tier, because he doesn't do anything. He's like, possessed for the one cutscene, and I think that's it, so. But he's not bad, but, yeah, I put him with the rest of the Xenoblade 3 heroes that are technically part of the story, but that's the end of that. And honestly, Yorin, wasn't the biggest fan of Yorin, gonna be honest, but I'll put Yorin above Grabs, I guess, maybe somewhere around here. Yorin was a little weird for me as well, because like it's a little confusing, because he wanted to save his friends and he was happy, but then he became a Mobius. He was jealous. He shaped Lanz's like life perspective, I guess, and I think the fight with him in chapter 6 was pretty well done. I never really connected that strongly with him though, and I never cared too much. So yeah, he's gonna get high C tier, because he definitely is relevant and plays a kind of major role, and he's all right. Not my favorite, but not the worst character. And yeah, he was pretty decent, so he's getting C tier. Is there anyone else who... Oh yeah, Zed. I'm putting Zed in C tier for sure. Zed is like the worst villain. Zed still doesn't make any sense to me. I'm gonna put Zed... I think I'm gonna put Zed right in front of Yorn. He has a cool design, and the final boss is like crazy. Very well done in terms of visuals. But that's about it. Like, his whole philosophy doesn't make any sense. Like, he just, like, wants to exist forever just for, like, the hell of it. Like, he thinks it's fun to, like, torture. The whole, like, I don't know, like, it's, like, too convoluted. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, I still, like, never really looked into it, but he's, like, the collection of everyone's resistance towards, like, becoming part of the new world or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's this, like, abstract kind of crap. He basically, like, speaks in tongues. He's like, everything he says is supposed to be super, like, metaphorical and deep, but not very good. And I think the fact that he doesn't interact with the cast at all outside of the final boss is a huge miss. Like, every boss that's really good in Xenoblade has, like, some sort of, like, built-up, like, character. Like, you have, like, some lore or backstory behind them. Like, especially, like Malos is so good because he's so present in Xenoblade 2, you know, as well as a lot of the other villains in pretty much every other game. Zed is, like, shut away in his little theater, and it doesn't give him... He doesn't have a lot going for him. I thought he was going to appear more in this DLC, but I was mistaken. He didn't show up at all. So, worst villain in the series, in my opinion. At least worst main villain, by far. Cool design, cool final boss, but pretty mid otherwise. I think that might signal the end of C tier. Obviously Petroka, I don't know why they didn't put Petroka on here, but Petroka is not on here. So yeah, that's going to be the end of that. Now moving on to B tier. Now these are the characters that are actually, I think, pretty decent. Have some pretty solid moments, a lot of fun, good designs, good voice acting. A combination of all those, basically. So we're going to start off the B tier with Sharla. I think Sharla, like I said earlier, is very overhated. She's really a decent character, but kind of pales in comparison to the rest of Xenoblade 1 because Xenoblade 1's cast is just that good. You know, her reason for being there is really just to, like, support them and, you know, try to find Gato or whatever, but that's, like, very shoved to the side. Her dynamics with most of the other characters in the party aren't really anything that special. The only one that's really significant is Rhine, for kind of obvious reasons, and they do have a really good relationship. Like, Sharla's interactions with, like, Melia and Fiora are, like, almost solely, like, about the love triangle, which is, like, fun, I guess, but the fact that that's, like, pretty much their only interaction is kind of, like, corny in a way. But Sharla's alright. The whole Colony 6 thing, like, the whole Colony 6 arc is probably the weakest in the game, but not bad. Not bad by any means. Along that line, I'm actually going to put Zord in B tier as well. I think Zord is actually very underrated. He's actually, I don't know, something about Zord and most of the face mechon. A lot of the enemies in Xenoblade 1, like the villains, like, they have a lot of charisma, even if their like, motives are very shallow. Like, just Zord and his voice and, like, the way, everything he does. The vocal performance, I don't even know who voiced Zord, but very good job in the vocal performance. Like, it's definitely selling. Like, he's an asshole, he doesn't care, and he just wants to eat and, like, have fun screwing over people's lives. Obviously, he is part of, like, a very mid part of the game for Xenoblade 1, but I think he's pretty good. I think he's a pretty good villain. I think he's one of those villains, like, you kind of, like, I don't know about love to hate, but you kind of, I don't know. I like him. I think he's fun, which I feel towards almost all the villains going forward, or they're just really good. But yeah, Zord, I'll give him B tier for sure. Callian. I think Callian's probably better than Sharla. If not around the same. Callian is, like, one of the best side characters in Xenoblade 1, just because, like, the way he steps up and takes over after, like, his dad dies and Melia, like, joins the party with, like, the whole allied force was, I think, a really cool thing. It's like a growth moment for Callian, and the advance, and then the whole turning into Telethia, all those scenes, and then the Lorthia scene at the end. Like, all the scenes between him and Melia are, like, great, and even the scenes of him building the allied force I thought were really cool as well. Like, it, a lot of respect, in my opinion. Quite a solid character. I feel like a lot of the big Xenoblade 1 fans would definitely agree. Well, yeah, Callian's pretty great. Also, Tyrea. Tyrea, I would probably put... I'm trying to think. I might put Tyrea... I guess I'll put Tyrea below Sharla. Tyrea, if not for Future Connected, I think would be in the D tier. Like, in the main game, she actually does very little and is pretty insignificant and dumb. But then there's the quest after the main game, like Melancholy Tyrea, that's kind of cool. Like, kind of shows how she was actually Melia's half-sister and all that. But even then, it wasn't very great. But when it came to Future Connected, I think the interactions between Tyrea and Melia were, like, really the highlights of Future Connected. Like, it kind of showed how, like, after all the dust was settled and, like, the Telethia still roaming around and the High Entia trying to rebuild themselves, that, like, you know, two, like, I guess sisters, I guess, who fought a lot in the past and disagreed, right, finally able to, like, come together and, you know, help to try to rebuild Alchemorph and, like, the High Entia civilization, which I thought was really cool. I thought that was great. Definitely the best part of Future Connected, in my opinion. If not for that, it would have been even worse, but pretty good. But if not for Future Connected, Tyrea would be pretty mid. But with Future Connected, Tyrea is really not that bad. I think she's actually pretty decent. I think the biggest missed opportunity is the fact that Tyrea was not a playable character in Future Connected. I think that was the biggest mistake. I don't know why they didn't do that, but maybe it was a budgeting thing. But I think they really... It would have been a lot cooler if they did. They could have made a whole new class, but I guess I get it. They didn't want to put as much effort into that, but that would have really elevated things. But Tyre is actually pretty decent. We are going to put Zanza here. I'm going to put Zanza at the front of all of them. Zanza is kind of not like the deepest villain. He's kind of a selfish god who just wants to perpetuate his own existence. Kind of like, he's like a way better version of Zed because of just the way he's built up so much better. Like, my favorite cutscene in the entire series is Mechonis Core, and the fact that that's his grand introduction and all the foreshadowing and lore building up to that part was just amazing. And the final boss of Xenoblade 1's amazing. Like, I think, you know, despite him being not super, like, three-dimensional, he's, like, kind of two-dimensional somewhat. Obviously, Alva says he desired for friendship, but it's kind of arguable because, you know, all of his actions didn't really point towards that, at least most of them. But, yeah, I think Zanza's a pretty good villain for what it's worth for the end of the game. I mean, all the parts with him in it are pretty iconic and great. Very epic. The ending, I don't know. I think he's a pretty good villain, so he's going to be in B tier. Not the best villain, but quite a solid one in my opinion. Xenoblade just had a lot of good villains, and he's kind of in the middle of them, but great design. I think the voice actor did a good job. And, yeah, just all the build-up was great. So, Zanza's B tier. Let's see who else. I'm going to put a Thoron in B tier for sure. I'm going to put a Thoron below Tyrea and in front of Zord. I feel like most people would not put a Thoron this high, but for me, as a classic Xenoblade 1 fan, and I grew up with all the YTPs and whatnot, Thoron is kind of iconic with his jokes like, put a sock in it, and what's that you say? And the Havres, those are iconic. But he's kind of a cool character. I feel like he earns my respect. He kind of like talks shit about Shulk, and then Shulk saves him, and then he respects him. And then he's even praising him, you know. He's like, during the raid, he's like, we don't even need Shulk's help. If we keep this up, you know, he kind of... It's kind of a good leader. He's a cool leader, and he stands his ground. He's kind of just like a respectable guy overall. Plus the memes. He gets low B tier. He's pretty decent, but not the craziest character. But, and I liked his voice actor as well. He's pretty good. So, B tier for a Thoron as well. Lower B tier, I would argue. Let's see who else is B tier. I'm gonna put Tora on B tier. I'm gonna put him below Zanza, I think. I'll see how I feel about this. I think Tora is the most overhated character in Xenoblade 2. I said that the other day for those people in the Discord, but Tora is crazy because Tora is the most, like, I think the most successful adaptation of the Noppon in terms, like, he was the most relevant in the main story compared to any of the other Noppon by far, in my opinion, because he, like, the whole point of Poppy, like, it was such like a focal part of a lot of the chapters, especially chapter 4, which obviously is probably the worst chapter in the game, but still, the fact that they put that much attention towards him, and his, like, whole relationship with Rex and Poppy, like, being, like, not a real driver, I thought it was kind of cool. I think it was good. I think playing as him could be one of two things. Playing as him without Poppy Cutie Pie is really awful, very boring, and is slow. But with Poppy Cutie Pie, is probably one of the most fun characters in the whole series to play. Full driver combo, shit ton of damage, so much customization and strategy. Yeah, I think people shit on Tora way too much. He's pretty solid. Probably the best. I think he's objectively probably the best written Noppon out of all of them. But yeah, I think Tora's pretty good, but not as good as some of the other cast members. So I'd put him like high B tier. That's for sure. Tora's yeah, underrated, like I said. I'm gonna put Van Damme up here as well. I'm gonna put Van Damme right below Tora. Maybe, I don't know, maybe above Tora, maybe slightly below. Van Damme was pretty great for the time that he was in the party. Like, he definitely left his impact on the story. Like, he left a big impact on Rex. And, you know, was kind of the part-time mentor. Loved his voice. I loved, like... He definitely, similar to some of the other characters, he just, like, he had a lot of respect because the whole scene with, like, Nia and her being part of Torna, and he's just, like, it's really not about, like, doing the right thing. Everyone's got their war to fight. His death, like, all that shit was very well done, and it was all contained within Chapter 3. And he's still very memorable and whatnot. I think he did a great job at being the mentor character for the time that he was in the game, so... not a fun character to play, though. I'm honestly not too sad that he died, because he wasn't that fun to play with just Rock. He was kind of slow and not very useful, but gameplay aside, story-wise, I thought he was pretty great. So Van Damme is also pretty high B tier for me. I'm going to put Dromark in B tier. I'm probably going to put Dromark... where do I want to put Dromark? I'm going to put Dromark below... Sharla. Dromark, out of, like, any character, like, Blade in the game, I would say he gets the least development out of all of them. He doesn't really have much development or, like, much going on as a character at all. You know, he was the Blade of Nia's dad. I mean, Nia's dad, whatever. But I think, obviously, a lot of the points for Dromark just goes to, like I said with the other characters, he's kind of cool, he earns my respect, he's like he's a wise mentor character in himself. He has a great voice, I think he's got a great design. I think the Rings class is, like, alright, not the most fun to play, but also not terrible. It's a decent class. Not the most useful, definitely. He's not a great Blade to use in Xenoblade 2, obviously, but... He's a cool character. I like Dromark. His voice is good. Design is good. He has a few small moments that are, like, kind of cool, but nothing super significant. But he's a cool character. Not much more to be said about Dromark. He's decent. So he's kind of like most of the other characters here. They're, like, pretty cool, and I respect them enough to put them, like, kind of here in B tier. So that's Dromark. Let's see, other Xenoblade 2 characters. Brigid. Brigid's definitely here as well. I think I like Brigid less than Dromark even. I would say, I'll put actually, I'm trying to think of whether I should put Brigid above Sharla or not. Because she's definitely a lot more relevant story-wise, but something about Brigid rubs me the wrong way. She just kind of acts like pretentious, and I really hate characters that are pretentious. Other than Mythra, because I feel like Mythra, like, grows a lot. Brigid just, like, I don't know, she's kind of seems like a very silent, judgy character. I think her whole gimmick with maintaining her memories, keeping the diary, and all that was kind of interesting and kind of, like, focuses on, like, a good aspect of the Blades forgetting their memory kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. She's really not my favorite. She's fun to play, and she's got awesome design. I know her voice actor's alright. Like, she definitely is a good voice actor, but not one of the standouts of the cast. Yeah, but she's a cool design, cool Blade, fun to use, but in terms of the story and her personality, it's just not my favorite, so she's gonna be, like, mid-B tier. One of the weaker ones out of the Xenoblade 2 main cast, for sure. I'm also gonna put Pandoria here. I'm probably gonna put Pandoria above Tora. I think Pandoria is a lot of fun. It's really goofy, cool character. Great foil to Zeke. Nice little sidekick. I think Pandoria is really... Her class, like Zeke's sword, the Purple Lightning Dream Smasher. Great class. One of my favorites in the whole game. Especially with the Eye of Shining Justice. Very fun class to play. She's funny. She's got, like, some great moments. But nothing too relevant other than her flashback with Zeke. I wish she really got more, like, development and had better interactions with some of the other characters, but her character is really kind of limited to Zeke alone, which is fair enough, because obviously she's his Blade. And Xenoblade 2 has so many characters, it's so hard to focus on all of them. But I like Pandora. She's fun. She's funny. For the time that she is focused on the story, like Zeke's flashback, I think she's pretty great. And she's a fun character to play. Kind of cool design as well. Yeah, so she's pretty great. B tier, high B tier for Pandora as well. Akos is going to be B tier. I think I'm going to put Akos towards the bottom of B tier, if not the bottom. I'm trying to think. Maybe... I'm going to put Akos actually right below Dromark, I think. And maybe I'll put him above Dromark, and I'll leave him there. Akos is not the strongest member of Torna either in terms of just everything, like well-rounded character, but he's pretty cool. Cool design. He's a little nerdy and pretentious and kind of a brat, but his whole like following the script thing was kind of a like funny gimmick, I guess. His class is really cool. The bow and arrow, the electric bow and arrow in New Game Plus is really cool. I don't know. It was cute how he really cared for the other members of Torna. Pretty much every single one of them, he kind of like felt for and tried to help out, make sure they didn't get hurt and whatnot, supported them. But not the most compelling character overall for me. Like, he has some moments, but you know, he's alright. He's B tier. Like I said, fun New Game Plus Blade, but doesn't have the most going for him. The flashback with Jin at the end I thought was kind of cool, but I didn't feel too bad for him. He's alright. So he's going to be B tier. What else do we have for B tier? We have got... I'm going to put Haze in B tier as well. I'm going to put Haze... I think I like Haze more than Brigid, honestly. Haze, like, I actually can't remember too many scenes with Haze from Torna. Like, I other than, like, the main ones that they flash back into in Xenoblade, the main game, Xenoblade 2. But, she's nice. She's, like, obviously, like, Laura's kind of, like, mirror image, almost. She's, has a cool ability. I feel like I don't remember her doing a whole lot in Torna, honestly. Kind of just like a supporting figure overall. She's nice and kind of kind, motherly figure. And in Xenoblade 2, the main game, she definitely has some really cool scenes. Obviously, the encounter with Jin, which hits really hard after Torna, and Amalthus, you know, becoming the Blade Eater with her was really cool. Very well done there, but I think Haze is alright. She's nothing too crazy for me, but... definitely a decent character. I don't know what this Xenoblade X music is, but we're gonna skip that one. Now we go back into Xenoblade 2. We're talking about Xenoblade 2 characters, so... who else? Yeah, Hugo from Torna is gonna be probably B tier as well. Trying to think. I'll put him right below Akos. Hugo was kind of a cool character. He was like another one of those characters I respect because, you know, he was the emperor of the Ordanian Empire. He had Brigid and Aegeon fought on the front lines. He was him and Adam's friendship dynamic I thought was really cute and cool. I think they went well together. He was kind of quiet. Once again, I don't remember any... The only scene I really remember him like being really significant in was like the ending where he dies. I think his death is super sad because, like, out of anyone, I feel like him dying was super tragic. Like, he didn't deserve to die at all there, but he was very, very heroic and valiant. He took one for the team and went down, and that was very upsetting. So Hugo definitely gets my pity points there. Cool character, but nothing really too striking about him, but he's a cool guy, and doesn't really have anything bad about him, so he's going to be kind of like lower B tier for me. And rounding out the Torna cast once again, I'm going to put Minoth in B tier. I'm probably going to put him right under Hugo. Actually, I'll put him above Hugo because of his his appearance in the main game, I guess. Oh, wait. Oh, I accidentally put Niall down instead of instead of Hugo. Yeah, they look so similar. I forgot. This is Hugo. That's Niall. All right, I'll talk about him later then, I guess. Yeah, Hugo is there. Niall. I'd probably put Niall in C tier, honestly. I put Niall like. I'll put him right next to Yorin, I guess. He kind of earned my respect once again. He took one for the team when it came to the Queen of Uriah. And he kind of let Morag go free and do her own thing. Like, he was a cool guy. Cool Xenoblade 2 side character, but didn't get a whole ton of screen time, but I respected him. He made some good decisions and took one for the Empire. He was a good Emperor, so yeah, he's high C tier. Cool side character. As well as Hugo. They're both pretty cool. That might be it. Oh, we got Banner. Banner's definitely going to go in B tier as well. I'm probably going to put Banner, like, maybe the bottom. I'm going to put Banner. I'm going to put Banner right in front of Tyrea. Because Banner is, like, such a silly character. He's, like, once again, like, a comic cartoon villain. Like, he's just, like, kind of stupid. One of those, like, dumb side protagonists or antagonists who is just kind of there to fill the space, but he's just kind of like, I don't know, he's funny and he's kind of a jerk, and you know, funny voice actor with Mui Mui, and you know, you could say that he interrupted the story and like broke the momentum, but I kind of appreciate a lot of the scenes he's in. I don't know why. I think he's funny. Goofball character, so he's low B tier for me. And who else do we have? We have, we're gonna have a few Xenoblade 3 characters for sure on here. We got Tyon. Where am I gonna put Tyon? I think I'm gonna put Tyon maybe somewhere over here in this area. I might put him slightly. I think I'm gonna put him right here. I think Tyon I thought was all right. He might be probably not one of my favorites from the main cast from Xenoblade 3, but the one thing I really like about Tyon is that he actually was reserved and didn't like something I thought was really weird in Xenoblade 3 is like the characters were too quick to like trust each other. Obviously you could argue, oh, the Ouroboros memory and all that crap, but still, like, they existed for like 9 years fighting these people to death and like, you know, in a constant war. Like, Tyon actually had his reservations. His side story was one of my favorite ones with Nimue. Was great, but I feel like he didn't like his interactions with some of the other, like, the main cast, I feel like I can't really remember anything too significant other than with Uni, which was kind of nice, but I don't know. I can't remember any, like, really great scenes with Tyon other than with Uni. Like, I don't remember any, like, really. There's a few, like, Tyon lands foil moments, but I don't know. With Mio and Senna, like, especially considering they were, like, Agnes, I feel like there wasn't any great scenes between them three. And Noah, not so much either, so I'll put Tyon like mid B tier, as well as I'm probably gonna put Senna up here as well. I'm probably gonna put Senna actually right above Tyon, for like kind of similar reasons. Oh, I guess I didn't talk about Tyon's class is actually like decent. When you first get it, it's kind of boring, but once you get fusion arts, it's pretty good. But Senna's a goofy character. She's kind of alright. She's like cute. But I feel like she doesn't, I can't remember a lot of moments in the main story where she's really that relevant. Like, she does anything that impactful. Like, she tries, I think her best interactions are with the side characters, if anything. Like, her friendship with Mio, I think, was kind of cute, and, like, that was pretty good. And Lance was also pretty cute and, like, fun or whatever, but other than those two, I think her relationships with, like, Gondor and Shania are kind of half-baked. Like, I didn't really believe a lot of it, or it just wasn't that impactful to me. Her class is fun. I think the most significant Senna moment was with Sagiri. I thought that was the cutest, like, character dynamic ever. I thought that was great. That was Senna's best moment in the whole game for me. Obviously, it was a side quest, and her side story isn't even about her, so, like, absolutely crazy. They just, like, kind of didn't even bother with her in her own quest, so Senna's not bad. She's kind of cool, but high to mid B tier for Senna. Decent character, I suppose. We got some more Xenoblade 3 characters. We got Riku. Where do I want to put Riku? I'm probably gonna put Riku like. Probably gonna put Riku lower. I'm probably gonna put him like maybe here. He's kind of in the same kind of ballpark as Dromark, because he's kind of like a cool, like, wise character, especially after Future Redeemed. Like, he's kind of like, he's like a god Nopon. It's kind of funny. And his voice is really cool. It also has like a little puffy, like, afro-looking thing. Cool design. His class is alright, with Manana's decent. It's not really one that I actually use very much. But he's got his moments. Lucky 7 is dope, so props for that. But yeah, he's just kind of one of those cool side characters who is in the background and has some cool moments here and there, but nothing too significant, in my opinion. But not a bad character. Riku is definitely one of the better Nopon characters, in my opinion. Definitely up there. Yeah, Riku, mid B tier for Riku. Yeah, we got a bunch more Xenoblade 3 characters going here. Ethel, I think I'll probably put somewhere in here. Ethel, I'll probably put right below. Let's see. Maybe I'll put her above Brigid. Ethel was good. Her class is a lot of fun to play. She's got like the dual wield blades or whatever. Class was a lot of fun to play. Her story arc was a little confusing at first, but I think the way she goes out in the story was kind of cool. Although it was kind of weird that their destiny was just kind of fight each other to the death. Like, that was their destiny, was just to fight, what's it called, Kamaravi. Like, I get it, I guess, but yeah, she was cool. Like, that fight with Kamaravi and that boss fight was like the point in Xenoblade 3 where I actually started to really get invested. So I thought it was a really cool boss fight, and I'll give her props for that. So kind of a cool design, has some pretty solid scenes in the story, good boss fight, and especially the Ascension quest, or like her interactions with Kamaravi after the main story, or like after her main story, you know, significance, like, you know, the Ascension quests and post-death Kamaravi cutscenes with the aging chamber and all that. That was really cute. I like that. And along the same line, I think Kamaravi is going to go up here as well. Probably right next to Ethel. I'll put him actually slightly higher because Kamaravi, I basically have the same opinions as Ethel. He has a really cool design. Stands out. He has one of the coolest weapons in the whole game. Really fun class. It's just like complete glass cannon. And yeah, similar thing to Ethel, but I'd say he even gets less screen time, but just because his class is that much fun to use, I would put him higher than Ethel. But both of them are pretty solid. Probably the best Xenoblade 3 side characters, I would say, outside of the main cast and the villains, which, they're actually better than most of the villains too, minus, I would argue, one, or maybe two. Probably only one, but yeah, so they're pretty good. They had some good scenes together, so I'll give Ethel and Kamaravi that. Miyabi's gonna go in B tier. What do I want to put Miyabi? I'm gonna put Miyabi like I'll probably put Miyabi like kind of in front of Banner. Miyabi, same thing with a lot of the like characters like Chris and whatnot. Like, Chris is kind of in a similar boat where they were kind of confined to like the side story, and like despite the side story being part of the main story, like I don't know. Like, she had a nice little moment in Chapter 6, and it was kind of cool. But, like, I didn't care that much, because she was only, like, slightly talked about prior to that point, so... The build-up was decent, but it was nothing that crazy. I would say the only reason I put, what's it called, Miyabi this high is because I think her class is pretty great. And I also like her design, too. I think she's kind of cute, so... yeah, she's kind of like low B tier. She's alright, but doesn't have that much impact outside of Mio, really. So, yeah, Miyabi's decent. Decent character. Anyone else for B tier? Yeah, definitely Shania is going to be here, too. Shania, actually... Let's see where I want to put Shania. Actually, I think I'm going to put Shania right in front of them. If it was solely based off of Shania's actions in Chapter 5, I would probably put her in, like, C or D tier, honestly. But the Ascension quest for, or the side story for Senna, I think really made me respect her a lot more. I think she had a good backstory. Like, I was actually surprised at, like, how much I liked the backstory for her. You know, the fact that she's related to Rhine, of all people, like, who'd have ever made that fucking connection? Like, she's as far from Rhine's personality as possible. I guess she's somewhat of Sharla's traits, but she's kind of tragic. I like her designs. I like her hair a lot. And I like her voice. She's got the Irish voice. And she definitely, like, stands out at the part of the game where, like, she definitely stands out in Chapter 5, but her build-up before that moment was so lame. Like, I didn't give a shit. But after the side story, I actually really liked her, so... I put her, like, mid-B tier, mid-high B tier. She's decent. I actually kind of like Shania. Was very surprised by that. And I think we only have one or two more on B tier. M. Where do I want to put M? I'll probably put M, like... Probably going to put M above Senna and Taion, honestly. Because M got so... She did not get a lot of screen time, I'm going to be honest with you. But her impact was profound. Like, M... Like, the whole events of Chapter 5 wouldn't have happened without M. M switched bodies with Mio, sacrificed herself, like, you know, warned the city, had such an impact on N, like, despite only being in it for so short of a time, she had more impact than almost most of the other characters in the whole game, which was nuts to me. And her design is amazing. I thought she looks great. And that was the best part of Xenoblade 3, the main game, so M is pretty solid. Despite the limited... She's kind of like a better version of Mayneth, in my opinion, just because she stands out more. She's more of an icon and has, like, very... a lot of repercussions for her actions, and a lot of things happen that are cool, so M I liked a lot. Thought she was good. And I think to round out the B tier... Actually, maybe we got two more. I'll probably put Noah. Where do I want to put Noah? I'll probably put Noah towards the top of B tier. Noah is really not my favorite. Definitely the weakest protagonist, I would say, out of all the games. But Noah definitely steps up a lot towards the end. Has a lot of great moments, like standing up for, like, I don't know. The Noah and Mio relationship was really amazing towards the end. I think before Chapter 5, I did not give a shit about Noah. I thought he would be, like, if you're just based off pre-Chapter 5, I would put Noah in, like, low C tier, honestly. But after Chapter 5, Noah definitely steps up and has some pretty great moments. His weapon's cool. The Lucky 7 is dope. Very good stuff. And obviously all the backstory lore with N was great, but that's more N, less Noah. So, Noah was kind of cool towards the end, but definitely took way too long to get good, which is why he's only B tier. You know, had some great moments, but took a little long to get there. People always complain about Shulk not having a lot of personality. I think Noah had way less than Shulk, especially in the earlier part. So, really, without Mio, he'd be a lot weaker of a character. But Noah, not bad, not the worst, not one of the weaker protagonists, but pretty solid. Had some great scenes, and let's see. I'm gonna put Padraig here too. Where do I want to put Padraig? I don't want to put him too high. I think I'm gonna put Padraig right below Tyon. Just because Padraig is hilarious. Like, don't forget me and think you could take me. Like, that is ingrained in my mind forever. The memes with Padraig are some of the best in Xenoblade 2. Like, that made me want to play Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is actually one of my favorite chapters, I would argue. Just because of Padraig and the Ordanians, like, shouting the lines over and over. It's so funny. So Padraig's kind of a great meme. He's getting B tier, mid B tier, high B tier. But I think that's going to be it for B tier. I would say pretty solid list. Yeah, I guess Zanza at the top is pretty good. I like Zanza and Pandoria's up there. But yeah, I kind of am digging this so far. But now we're getting into the really good characters. We've made it to the A tier, which is pretty fucking hype. So to start off the A tier, let's start with the Xenoblade 1 characters. Ricky's going to be on here. Ricky is not one of my favorite Xenoblade 1 main cast characters, but he's so goofy and funny and surprisingly has such a like lasting impact on a lot of the characters. Obviously his children and like Melia and Shulk. He has a lot of great moments if you dig deep. Like the heart-to-hearts with Ricky are great. His relationship with Melia, I think, is very cute and, like, wholesome. His relationship with Ryan is hilarious. Kind of a cool character to play. Yeah, I think Ricky's my favorite Nopon character out of all of them because very irrelevant in terms of the overall story, but, like, he's a good, like, you know, comic relief, like, support character, you know? He, like, definitely adds a little bit of what no other characters really have. So he's kind of unique, and he's a good way to start off the A tier. Also gonna put Melia on the A tier. Melia has so much Melia is probably gonna be towards the top of A tier, but I'm just going through the games in order. Melia has honestly more screen time throughout the games than almost every single character minus the protagonists, like the main protagonists, like, you know, Rex, Pyramithra, Shulk, and all those, you know, Rex. But Melia has such a large impact on the story of Xenoblade 1, Future Connected, and obviously Xenoblade 3 on the side. But, yeah, Melia is a great character. She goes through a lot of struggle, obviously. She basically is stripped of everything in her life, which is super tragic, which is why a lot of people love her. I feel like just because she goes through all of the struggle doesn't make me, like, love her character to her be, like, my top favorite, but I really respect her ability to bounce back and, you know, take charge of the High Entia and, you know, recover and support the other characters. And obviously her one-sided affection towards Shulk is a classic, you know, conversation starter and talk amongst the other characters and the fandom. But yeah, Melia's pretty great. Melia's not really my favorite character to play, but she definitely is very good if you can use her right. But I don't know, her playstyle isn't super fun. But in Future Connected, obviously she's great with Tyrea, like I mentioned earlier. But yeah, Melia is definitely a strong character in the series. Xenoblade 3, she has one of probably my favorite cutscenes in the main game with the Ascension quest. That flashback was absolutely mind-blowing. And overall, just a great, really strong character in the series. Definitely one of the highlights of the cast of all the games, I think you could argue. But I don't know. Something about her personality kind of holds it back for me. Like, she's kind of like the reserved, like, princess character who I can't really relate with as much, and nor do I think is as fun. But lots of respect for Melia. Definitely a great character, so she's definitely going to be high A tier. Yeah. I've also got the Colonel on here. I'm going to put the Colonel at the bottom of A tier, just because the Colonel is, once again, hilarious. He always makes me smile every time he's on screen, just yelling at the soldiers and being fucking crazy. He's got the memes. Not too much else to say there. He's hilarious and pretty iconic whenever he's on screen. So definitely a standout character. Worth A tier, in my eyes. Dixon is going to be A tier as well. I'm trying to think if I should put... I think I actually like Dixon more than Melia. Dixon was a great supporting character throughout the entire game. You know, his relationship with Dunban was funny. You know, they kind of teased with each other, and his father dynamic with Shulk I thought was also pretty great, which I think they could have expanded a lot more on it. They should have had more Dixon and Shulk cutscenes, or I think they should have talked more about the backstory, shown a cutscene of Dixon and Shulk when they were young, when Shulk was younger, would have been great. And maybe even thrown in a Mumcar cutscene in there too, with Dunban and all that, back in the day. That would have been a great throwback. But yeah, I think Dixon is a great character, part of the best plot twists in all of Xenoblade. Great voice actor. He's got a lot of charisma as a villain. He's such a scumbag, but you kind of love him. At least I did. His boss fight is great, very climactic. I just love Dixon. I think he's great side character / villain. And, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't appreciate him as much, but I'm a huge Xenoblade 1 fan. I think Dixon's a great character, great villain. Has a good personality. So, yeah, very high A tier for Dixon as well. Any other Xenoblade? Yeah, I'm going to put Eggle. Where do I want to put Eggle? I'm going to put Eggle probably below Ricky, honestly. Eggle is an amazing villain. Probably the most... I would say Eggle has the best... Eggle has the best intentions out of any Xenoblade villain, I would argue, other than maybe Jin. Because I really feel bad for him. His whole civilization got fucking destroyed. Obviously, the way he went about fulfilling his duty was very morally not right. But he's a really great powerful villain who kind of you feel for him, and you just kind of respect what he's doing. He's doing it for the right. The ends justify the means to him, and I could kind of understand why. Great design, great voice act, has amazing cutscenes with Shulk. All of his boss fights are so good. Him, talking with Shulk right before, the big reveal, Mechonis Core was great with Hourglass, and the backstory. Amazing villain. Definitely worthy of the A tier, but all the other characters ahead of him, I just think I like more in terms of personality or have better scenes or whatnot. But amazing villain, and I don't blame people that think he's the best villain of Xenoblade 1 because he's definitely worthy of that title. Morag from Xenoblade 2. I don't know why she was in the Xenoblade 1 list, but Morag is great. I'm trying to think of where I want to put Morag. This is kind of a tough one, honestly. I'm going to keep Morag here for now, right above Eggle and right below Ricky, I suppose. Morag, from a glance, isn't anything too special, but I feel like as the game goes on, I don't know, I think you just grow a lot of respect for Morag. She, is, very serious about her job as the Special Inquisitor and kind of has trouble breaking out of that, royal role that she has to fulfill, but she has some pretty great moments with, I feel like the dynamic between her and Zeke being, the nobles, and, both being the noble figures who are, have opposing views is cool. Her respect towards, Rex, trying to get to Elysium was cool. I don't know, she's just, she's a lot of fun, but she her personality isn't really that strong, but she has an awesome design, a great voice, a lot of fun to play, especially with Bridget. Very useful. I don't know, she's just a great supporting character. She just kind of has... She's very just well-rounded in most areas that I could think of. So, yeah, Morag's very great. And she's kind of just mid-A tier, I would put. Definitely, I don't know. There's so many good Xenoblade 2 characters, and Morag is, I always just really like a lot, but she, it's tough, because there's so many to choose from, and you gotta split it up, so. I think Pyra is also A tier. I think I actually like I'm trying to think if I actually like Morag as a character more than Pyra. I think I do. Because Pyra by herself is a pretty great character. Nowhere near as much development as Mithra, obviously for pretty obvious reasons. She's kind of... Her interaction with Rex is like some of her first interactions ever. You know, minus where Adam awakened her, or Mithra created her, and then she got sealed away. But, I mean, Pyra's incredible design. Sky Bennett is amazing voice actor. Especially because she had to voice two of the same characters with different personalities, but had to keep the same general tone of voice so that it made sense. But yeah, she's you know, like, she has the same kind of character arc as Mithra, but just less, there's less going on, you know. She fears her own power, but she never really was the one to experience the trauma, and she's just kind of there. But her relationship with a lot of the characters is really nice. Like, her and Rex are really cute. Nia, like, I don't know, she's a very wholesome character, and the Aegis Sword is obviously a great class to play. She's useful, obviously outclassed by Mithra in pretty much every way in general, but Pyra is still really great. Definitely a A-tier character. Yeah, pretty solid. Rex, also gonna get A tier. I'm probably gonna put Rex. I'm gonna probably put Rex right next to Pyra, honestly. I'm actually gonna put below Eggle. I like Eggle more than Rex, I guess. Xenoblade 2 Rex. Rex is a pretty great protagonist overall. I think, I don't know, there's certain things about him that kind of hold him back from being like a all-time favorite for me. I just realized there's no future redeemed characters on this list. What the fuck is happening, dude? Oh my god. I might have to redo this whole fucking thing. God damn it. I don't know how it just took me now to realize that there was no future redeemed characters on here. Yeah, I don't see the future redeemed characters on here either. There was one list I was looking at where... There's one list where... this has all the consoles, it's crazy. All Xeno series... Oh no, that's the games. Shit. A lot of Xeno series characters. Utter trash. Does this have the future redeemed characters? Don't think it does, unfortunately. I don't even know if this has the Xenoblade 3 characters. I don't think there are on here either. God damn it. That's so tragic. Is this the one I was using? Yeah, this is the one I was using. Xeno series characters. They're definitely leaving a lot of them out here. Unfortunate. There was definitely one I was looking at that had all the characters. Like, all the relevant characters plus feature redeemed. I don't know where it went. God damn it. I think I just typed in Xenoblade, right? Does this have... This is definitely like missing some characters. But this one does have the main feature deemed cast, it looks like. gonna get rid of all the ones that I don't have on here. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep doing this one, and I'll just rate the future redeemed ones on the end, I guess. But continuing. Did I finish with Rex yet? No, Rex is like... I'm not the biggest fan of, like, the immature kid grows up trope. I don't know. I feel like... I don't know. I'm not a big fan of, like, immature kid characters to begin with. But Rex has his moments. I think he's a little corny at times, especially in the beginning. But obviously, Chapter 7 and onwards, Rex is pretty great. Fun character to play as. Definitely has a lot of impact and good dynamics between other characters like Nia and obviously Pyra, Mithra, Tora, Zeke. Obviously, he's the protagonist, obviously. He's got a lot of good dynamics. Obviously, the voice acting is questionable at times, but everyone knows that. The screams, that's obviously a big deal for me as a amateur voice actor, but he definitely has a lot of impact, and is definitely a well-written character. He's just not one of my personal favorites, so he's gonna get a lower A tier for me. Who else for A tier? I'm gonna put Mikhail on A tier. Where do I want to put Mikhail? I guess I'm gonna put Mikhail. I guess I'll put Mikhail right here. I think Mikhail is an amazing character. And I've said this before, like the fact that he went from like the shyest, like scared kid in Torna, then he got like experimented on as a Blade Eater, then he became this like totally extroverted, like funny, happy-go-lucky guy is like insane. I think that's the coolest like shift in a character I've ever seen. And I don't know, it's just really cool. I think he's really funny. He seems like a character who would be a fun like person to like hang out with. his like relationship with Patroko is interesting. And whatnot. Yeah, just the whole Torna going into the main game and his final scene where he sacrificed himself, I thought was amazing. Him as a Blade in New Game Plus, he's like alright, he's kind of cool, but I don't know. His story contributions in the end of Xenoblade 2 and Torna combined, I think are great, and he's definitely worthy of the A tier, solid member of Torna. One of my favorites, other than obviously the last two that we haven't gone into yet. Laura is going to be an A tier as well. I think Laura... Where do I want to put Laura? I think Laura's amazing. I think Laura's a great character. I'd probably put her like... I think I'm going to put her right up here. Laura is so good. I think she's like a great protagonist. Just like she really stands out on her own, and like despite the whole point of Torna being about like fighting Malos, like the story takes time away to like go into her backstory, like with her mom and like how she is able to grow as like a driver and eventually like is a Tornan driver, her relationship with Jin and Hayes and like Adam and whatnot. Like she's just a really interesting character who you see grow over like a really short story, and then, you know, obviously you see all that growth just for the most tragic thing to happen at the end of the story. Going into Xenoblade 2, the main game, it's just like one of the most tragic characters, very well written, pretty fun to play, mixed with Jin. She's got like a kind of interesting play style, but very well written character, and one of my favorites overall. I love Torna to death, and she's a really good protagonist. One of the only female protagonists other than Elma, which not counting Xenoblade X in this list, but definitely puts a good rep out for the protagonist, Xenoblade girl protagonists. Very good character. The top of A tier, I think I'll put Adam. Actually, do I put Adam? I think Adam is an incredible character as well. I don't know where I want to put him. I might put him right in front. Actually, no, I think I like Adam more than Melia, honestly. I'm trying to think if I like him more than Dixon. Probably slightly less than Dixon, because I really like Dixon, but Adam is another character in Torna who has such good charisma. You see, you know, Adam in the base game as this mysterious, like figure who is hyped up to no ends about being, like, such a crazy hero who, you know, is, like, totally, you know, self-serving. But then you play Torna, and he's like the goofiest guy, and he's like happy-go-lucky, he's funny, he's upbeat, which completely, you know, throws away your expectations. But I absolutely love that, and you know, he's a happy-go-lucky guy, but he has his insecurities about the future and Malos and Mithra, which reflects on Mithra obviously later on. Really amazing character. I love Adam. I think he's so well done. And I really feel bad for him at the end of Torna. He definitely feels a lot of regret, and happy that he was able to live out a life of peace after all that shit went down. But I think Adam's incredible. A very powerful and charismatic protagonist. Well, I guess, you know, supporting antagonist, or protagonist, I guess. And let's see who else we got. We got Amalthus. What do I want to put Amalthus? Amalthus is really good. Really good villain. I'm probably going to put Amalthus right here above Pyra. Amalthus was a crazy villain. Who, like, obviously wasn't the most, like, shocking of a villain, but all the scenes with him going chapter 8 onwards were, like, crazy. He's, like, he's honestly, like, the sneakiest, most slippery antagonist out of all of them, just because, like, all the prep he did, like, all the planning he did to get where he was at by the end of Xenoblade 2, and, like, all of his hatred towards humanity based on the things he experienced as a kid, like, I don't know, that shit was nuts. That really blew me away. One of the best antagonists in the series, and honestly one of the most satisfying ones to kill as well. Like, the fact that Jin is the one that is able to take him out in the end, just because he's totally lost it and power crazy and hungry, like, very well deserved. Really, he was really the issue. Like, he caused all the problems pretty much in the world of Xenoblade 2, and I think he actually got off a little easy, honestly. I think he deserved to suffer a little bit more than he did. But very good villain. Very well done. One of the best villains in the series. Amalthus. And we have Klaus, the architect. I'm probably going to put him at the bottom of this list just because he's not in it very much. But just that whole scene with Chapter 10 where he is the lore dump. Like, him... You know, obviously in Xenoblade 1, before Xenoblade 1, with the world, and talking about, like, how his personalities were cut in half. This is, like, his sympathetic, curious side, and Zanzo is, like, the narcissistic scientist side. It was so well written. And that whole part, like, the end of Xenoblade 2, that whole part where they're talking to Klaus, like, the fact that he's only really in one big scene, but yet that scene is one of the best scenes in the whole game by far. Like, he's definitely worthy of A tier, especially the fact that it's like he's the root between, he's the connecting, layer between Xenoblade 1 and 2, and that on its own is worthy of A tier, because that was mind-blowing for me the first time I played Xenoblade 2. Like, my jaw was dropped when I saw the beginning of Chapter 10 cutscene, so never been more shocked in the series than that, because that was like, fucking, like, revolutionary for the whole series. So, Klaus is worthy of the A tier just based on that alone. Here we got Mio. I'm probably gonna put Mio... I'm probably gonna put do I want to put Mio above Rex, I wonder? Do I want to do that? Yeah, I think I like Mio more than Rex, honestly, because, I don't know, similar to Noah, like, I didn't care that much for Mio before, Chapter 5, but after Chapter 5, I really respected Mio a lot. Obviously, she went through a lot of shit, and obviously she, like, almost died and all that. The execution was amazing. That's, like, the best scene in main game Xenoblade 3, and she's kind of the forefront of all of it. The backstory with M, and just her relationship with Noah, and with Nia, I guess, obviously, as well. Like, it's really well done. Probably the best part about Xenoblade 3. One of the best written Xenoblade 3 characters and, you know, kind of arcs. So, best character arc in base game Xenoblade 3. She's worthy of a kind of low A tier. I'm not super attached to any of the Xenoblade 3 protagonists that much, but she is probably the best. Actually, she's not the best one. No, actually, moving on, Lanz. I'm going to put Lanz right above Mio. I thought Lanz was going to be like Rein 2.0 when we started the game, because he shows a lot of the same traits, and you could say in some regards that he is. But, actually, I'm going to put Rex in front of both of them. I think Rex has better moments than both of them. I would say. But Lanz, yeah, he shows a lot of traits of Rein, which I love. Rein is, you'll get to see Rein, where he places on this list, but yeah, Lanz is a pretty solid character. The only thing that is a little unfortunate is I wish that Lanz had more of like a character arc going. Like, his whole character arc kind of revolves around like Yorin and him, like that being like a life-changing moment for him, but that never really hit me super hard. Like, that was never really super impactful for me. But I really do like his personality. He's like Rein, but just like not as funny, and the humor of Rein is what makes him as good as he is. So he's still good, but not as good as Rein, but definitely better. Well, one of the better ones of the Xenoblade 3 cast, in my opinion. Solid character. His base class is alright, not actually that great, but I like Lanz as a character. He's pretty solid. Yeah, even despite it's kind of tough. I think him and Mio are almost interchangeable, just because Mio has like so much better story moments, but I like Lanz's personality a lot more. I don't know. I'll put Mio ahead of him, I suppose. And then Uni is going to be right after them. Uni, I'm probably going to put quite a bit higher. I'm probably going to put Uni all the way up here, just because I think Uni has the best personality in the whole Xenoblade 3 base game period. She's really funny. I love her, like she just doesn't give a shit. Very like impulsive and like not afraid to say whatever she wants. She's very outspoken and like aggressive. Basically, Uni and Lanz are like two halves of Rein, and I think Uni got the better half of Rein because she's got like more of the humor. The one thing that's so sad about Uni is, similar to Lanz, like she had very little going in terms of like her character arc. Like, her main character arc, I feel, was the fact that, you know, she somewhat remembered her past life, but it's not really delved into that much, like with Dirk or whatever. Like, that could have been done a lot better than it was. I don't know. I think if we had seen more of Uni's past life, it would have been a lot more interesting. But even without that, I think she's got the best personality. Her Ascension quest with Ashira, I thought, was amazing. Great dynamic there. And yeah, she's just the funniest character, and I liked her the most. I think she's got a great voice actress. And she's my favorite of the Xenoblade 3 main cast by a decent amount, I would say. So Uni, mid to high A tier. I really liked her. And she's got an interesting weapon as well, like the little gun healer blade. Pretty cool. Uni's pretty awesome. And I don't know if I should put N on the A tier or not. I might put N. N after Future Redeemed, I mean, holy shit. N was crazy. It's really hard. I might put N right here. N was by far the best antagonist in Xenoblade 3, period. Obviously between the base game and Future Redeemed. N was very N was like the most developed character in the whole fucking story, and like he had such a great lore and backstory. His breakdown scene is iconic. Amazing part of chapter 5. I was honestly not expecting N to you know, get salvation in the end. I thought he was gonna end in despair, but I'm kind of happy he didn't end up like that, because you feel bad for him in a way, but then again, he's also kind of an asshole and definitely seemed to enjoy making sure you suffered. But especially a lot more respect is given to him after Future Redeemed, like the fact that he was helping out the gang and helped save the day, even if it was for Mobius in a way. But yeah, N is very good. Best antagonist in Xenoblade 3. Very good character. Awesome voice acting by Mr. McIntyre. Yeah, really well done character. N was probably the best character. Definitely the best character in base game Xenoblade 3 in my opinion. And Future Redeemed, he's definitely up there. I would say even then. But I'll get to Future Redeemed right after this. I'm done. So we are down. We have 2 tiers remaining and only about a little over 10 characters left. So to start out the S tier, which we are at right now, I'm going to start with Seva from Xenoblade 2. Only reason Seva is up here, he has about 4 speaking lines in the whole story of Xenoblade 2, but he's my favorite rare blade. He has one of my favorite voice actors. Like, her vocal performance is so great. His, like, has left such an impact on me. Awesome weapon, and he's Malos's blade. Like, he's a lot of fun to play as a New Game Plus Blade too. And his design, absolutely love him. Just because of that alone, he's S tier. Enough said. So, there's that. That's the only time I had really like a character that much personal bias has been put into it. But we're going to put Shulk in the S tier. My favorite protagonist. He is so fucking good.
Rhyme time, baby.
Yo, Hunter, dude, what's up? I'm doing a Xenoblade tier list right now because I just finished Xenoblade 3, and I'm making a definitive tier list. So you could enjoy as I rant about the last few characters I got here. But yeah, I just got to Shulk. Shulk is such a great protagonist. People complain that like he has no character, which is such nonsense because like Shulk has like so much going for him. His friendship with Rein is like the best friendship in the whole fucking story, in the whole series, in my opinion. They're like the best friendship. Obviously Fiora is the best like romance in my opinion. There's so much that happens based around Shulk and Fiora. Him and Dunban have such a great you know, mentor-mentee dynamic. Dixon, you know, they had the father-son almost dynamic, research partners. Melia, you know, the supporting and then the one-sided romance. Adam Howden, one of the best vocal performances in the whole series by far. So many great moments I could think of with Shulk. And like Future Redeemed, if you want to throw that in. He has such a great supporting character. Yeah, Shulk is just a great character. So many great moments. Vocal scenes, tons of fun to play in the game. The Monado. Awesome design. Just a great protagonist. Really just peak. So S tier for Shulk. But Hunter, I have been good. I've been doing pretty great, man. What about you? Who is next on S tier? We got Poppy. I'm probably going to put Poppy below Shulk. Poppy is an incredible character. One of the most well-written characters in Xenoblade 2. Super adorable. Like, she just complements a lot of the characters so well. Obviously with Tora and, like, Mithra, especially at the end with the promise. That was, like, one of the most, like, cute scenes at the end of Xenoblade 2. Great design. Like, the whole concept of her is really crazy and cool. The unofficial blade, her evolving and, you know, changing voices slightly. And her, like I said with Tora, the gameplay with Poppy, once you get Cutie Pie, is a lot of fun. A lot of great moments with Poppy. She's cute. Great design. Like I said, everything about Poppy is pretty amazing. So, yeah, S tier for Poppy. Thank you for the praise, Hunter. Yeah, affiliate was awesome that I was able to get that. Got that a little while back now. Been getting a lot of support recently, which I've really appreciated. Oh, you've been talking to someone romantically, I'm assuming. Yeah, best of luck, man. That is good news. All right, we only have a few characters left. Next on S tier, we have... Who do I want to put next? This is a tough choice. This is really getting down to the wire here. Well, I'll decide who I'm placing where. But Fiora, I'm going to talk about next. Fiora, people shit on Fiora all the time, saying how she only, like, her whole character is based around Shulk. And there's definitely a lot of truth to that, but even still, she's such an impactful character. Like, the whole story is driven around her. And once she comes back, the whole reveal with her in Prison Island is insane. Then they have to deal with the fact that she's a Mechon and they're fighting her. They have to rescue Fiora. And then there's the whole Fiora reunion where, you know, they had to deal with her body breaking down and, you know, having a mechanical body and being judged by appearances. And just her relationship with Shulk is amazing. Dunban, Ryan. She's very playful. Awesome Karina Reeves, amazing voice actor. My favorite character to play in Xenoblade 2, or Xenoblade 1. Probably one of my most favorite characters to play in any Xenoblade game. Just Haste Fiora is so much fun. Once you get Final Cross, she's just insane character. One of the most underrated characters in the whole series, in my opinion. She's so good. Best Xenoblade girl. Right there. So... Fiora is S tier, definitely towards the top. We got Mumkar as well. Mumkar, I would say, I don't like as much as... I think I like Fiora more than Mumkar. I feel it's kind of... I'm actually going to put Mumkar above Shulk, ironically. Mumkar is the most underrated villain in the whole series. Doesn't really have a lot going for him in terms of, like, rationale and, like, motives, but... his chemistry with Dunban is just, like, cannot be matched. Like, they just have such a great, like, rivalry. And, like, him being Metal Face, the taunting, the charisma, all the lines he has is just so iconic. And the way he goes out in Sword Valley was perfect. Like, that was such a great conclusion to, you know, not only Mumkar and Dunban's arc, but also Shulk and Dunban. You know, he taught Dunban a valuable lesson there, and, you know, set his morals straight. So Mumkar, so much charisma as a villain. You love to hate him. I love him to death. Such a good character, and his voice is amazing too. One of my favorite vocal performances. Oh really? Oh, that's awesome, Hunter. Yeah, that is exciting when you're in that point where you want to talk to the person you're interested in, like, all the time. I've obviously been there before. I know what it feels like, and it's quite nice. So it's good to hear, man, for sure. All right. Next up, we have Alvis. Alvis is one of my favorite characters in the whole series, even before Future Redeemed. And with Future Redeemed, he only goes up even more, but he's already pretty much at the top as is. One of the coolest, like, he's the peak, like, the, what's it called? What's it called? I'm trying to think of the terminology. Like, these, I guess kind of the definitive, or the peak, version, or, like, of the mysterious anime character trope. Like, he is the definitive character I go to, just because I think he's done so well. Incredible design. His design is so unique and cool. Blake Ritson, another one of my favorite vocal performances. Mostly, almost all the characters in the top S tier and even low A tier, I love their vocal performance. So unique. What like his voice stands out just like that. It's so good. His relationship with Shulk was great, and you know, he slowly reveals more lore, and the end of the game is just huge, like what the fuck moment with Alvis explaining the whole history of the world, and then Xenoblade, obviously with Future Redeemed, he's just like even expands on that, and just awesome. Like every time he's on screen, I just love him. Like he's just so interesting to me. So Alvis is S tier. We are getting down to the wire. Next up, we have Jin. Where do I want to put Jin? I might put Jin right under Alvis. Jin is one of the most well-written characters in the whole series. He is so well done. Obviously, the main character of Torna, the Golden Country, you see him kind of as this stoic, you know, Blade who's very selfless and, you know, just tries to protect everyone and be a supportive figure. But he's also, you know, kind of has this like resentment towards humans, but also, you know, tries to nurture humans. Like with Mikhail, he's very gentle. He loves Laura and the rest of the cast. And then, you know, he has a conflicting thing with his past lives and the memories. And then after Torna ends, it just completely derails once his life is just completely destroyed. And I don't know, everything about Jin is amazing. His character, his voiceover, the design, the character arc, all of his scenes with Malos and Rex and Mithra and Laura, just absolutely amazing. Yeah, dude, Jin fucking hates humans after the Torna. If you ever play Hunter, dude, Jin, this guy, peak character, one of the most well-written characters. Easily S tier, like top 5 character, I would say. Maybe around there. Probably top 5 character in the whole series, in my opinion. In that vein, we've got Mithra. Mithra, you could argue the same thing as Jin. Just one of the most well-written characters in the whole series. So much development between Torna the Golden Country and the base game. You really see Mithra start out as this cocky Aegis who knows she's like super strong but is kind of an asshole about it, and you see her learn a lot over the course of Torna, and then she gets completely mind fucked and her fucking mental state is demolished by the end of Torna, for good reason, obviously. And then just the fear carrying over into Xenoblade 2 and how she develops there, and all the scenes she has, like where she confronts the past characters from Torna in the base game, and finally accepting herself by Chapter 7. Absolutely amazing. Amazing design, amazing voice by Sky Bennett. Tons of fun to play, double spinning edge. Yeah, Mithra is pretty much a perfect character through and through. Just too good. And also an amazing character, Nia. Nia goes right right above Mithra. Pretty much for all the same reasons. Once again, amazing backstory and lore. Just like, and she's not even in Torna either, which makes it even better how she develops. You know, in the start of the game, you don't know shit. You just think she's this kind of a cocky, obnoxious, you know, cat girl who seems to you know, she definitely shows a side of like caring, obviously with Rex, obviously at the end of Chapter 1, and then as the chapters go on you learn more and more, and then once Chapter 6 hits and Pyra and Mithra aren't around, you hear all the Nia lore. Like one of the best backstories in the series. And then the end of chapter, it's not even the end of the chapter, it's mid-chapter 7, I think it is, with the whole Nia reveal. Everything's great. Amazing character arc. You know, she's a driver. It's just she has a lot of fun. Like, she's really good with Bitball and some of the other classes. One of my favorite vocal performances in all of the series, like the rest of them. I love, and her personality is just top-notch. In Xenoblade 3 as well, like, she's very adorable and pretty much has everything going for her, so that is just peak. We have only one more character in this S tier, and it is Zeke. Where do I want to put Zeke? Zeke is definitely up here. Where he goes, though, is kind of a tough choice, though. I think I'm going to put Zeke right under Jin. Zeke is a fantastic character. The funniest character in the entire series, other than Ryan, in my opinion. Super overdramatic, and he's a character you can't help but smile, I feel. He is so funny. Super just like great design. Like, I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot, but it's just true. Like, amazing design. His I think it's Daniel Barker, I think is his voice actor. Incredible job. And, you know, once he joins the party and like he actually starts, you know, you take him a lot more, like he's got a lot of great serious scenes too, you know, with, you know, all of Tantal, and, you know, when he's in fights, you know, he's usually the one who steps up, like when in the fight with Jin, you know, he's like, yeah, we gotta press forward. Yeah, Zeke Yeager. But he's also probably my favorite character to play in the game. Super fun to play with most classes. He's so good. So funny. And, yeah, a lot of charisma. He's got serious moments. He's got hilarious moments. He's got it all. He's really got it all. So, S tier for Zeke as well. Top 5. Or top 6, I guess. We are down to the final 3 characters in the series, minus Future Redeemed, which I'm gonna have to add to in a second. But yeah, so the top 3 characters, we're going to start off with none other than Dunban. Unsurprisingly, not my favorite character in the series, but he's top 3. Dunban is just incredible. I mean, he's just so badass. Like, the second you see him on screen at the beginning of Xenoblade 1, like, he's technically the first character you see in the whole game. Right off the bat, like, he doesn't waste any time. Like, he's so badass, amazing voice. Like, even though, like, a lot of the story doesn't really, like, revolve around Dunban, like, he's obviously, like, he's mainly a supporting character, like, he has so many defining moments that just make him so badass and makes me just, like, love him to death. Like, all the scenes where they're in Alchemoth and, like, everyone's about to give up and just let, like, Saurian and Melia die, Dunban's like, fuck that, I don't give a shit about the High Entia traditions, we're going because we care about Melia, and we don't give a shit about stupid customs, like, we're gonna save the people we love. Like, he's such a badass, dude. He saves the fucking day. If he wasn't there, I think the game would have went a lot differently. Such a great leader. Like, he has great moments of humor every now and then. Like, he's kind of dry, but I love dry humor. Great design, amazing voice actor. Rufus Jones, if I'm not mistaken, obviously. I mean, you could tell my preference here. I just think Dunban's incredible, even as a side character. If Future Redeemed Shulk didn't show anything, he's just such a hype role model. He's amazing. So good. And he's a lot of fun to play as in the game as well. Really great character, so. Epic Dunban moment. Top of the bottom, I guess, of the Trinity tier. Next up, second place is going to be Malos from Xenoblade 2. Malos, like, once again, I think one of the best, if not the best, written character in the whole series. What's up, Jaden? Welcome back. Here, as I'm finishing the tier list, perfect time. I was just ready to talk about Malos. Malos is one of the most iconic characters in the whole series. He pretty much has everything going for him, as does pretty much all of the characters I've mentioned over the past 10 minutes. Like, just, he's there from the beginning of Xenoblade 2. He's this menacing, you know, boss character who's kind of a smartass, but there's so much more to him, especially if you start with Torna. He's this crazy, like, godlike character who is, like, he's almost theatrical in a sense. He's so, like, overdramatic, but, like, you just love him. He's, like, one of those lovable villains that, like, you don't even give a shit, like, that his intentions are just, like, he's insane. Like, he just loves destruction, you know? Incredible. I would say the best vocal performance in the whole series. Adam Howden, I think, is a good second, but fucking, what's his face? I don't know why his name is blanking me right now, because I literally look at him all up. Fucking, Jane, tell me his voice actor's name right now. I don't know why. David Menken. I don't know why that was fleeting, because I literally look at him all the time. David Menken, holy shit. What an incredible performance. He's got some of the best lines, some of the most impactful lines in the series. Best villain in the series, in my opinion, by a pretty good margin. Awesome design. He's a fucking Aegis. Like, he's so hilarious, too. He's so funny. So many great, intense scenes, though, too. His relationship with Jin, his relationship with Mithra, his relationship with Rex. Like, oh my god, just so good. Like, everything is just amazing. Jaden, you gotta look him up. He's such a cool guy. And he's getting a lot more involved with the community now that, everyone kind of, like, I don't know. He's getting more involved. You see him all over the place, I feel, now, because he's just so good. Incredible voice actor. But, top off the tier list, we have SheynTime, baby! And I'm just gonna start off by saying, Reyn, one of the reasons, if not one of the main reasons why Reyn is my favorite Xenoblade character, at least at the moment, and he's pretty much always been one of my favorite characters, is there has not been a single Xenoblade character that has made me smile more than Reyn. Like, I've been playing Xenoblade for a decade now, and just the way I, like grew up.
Oh yeah, baby!
Oh yeah, baby! Dude, that's very fitting, but yeah, like, he's one of the most memeable characters, so funny, like, it's hard not to laugh at almost everything that he says, other than a few lines in, like, the scenes where he tries to be serious, which he could definitely be a serious character as well. Such an amazing friendship with Shulk, like, such a, like, wholesome friendship. They actually, like, I feel people don't talk about that enough at all, like, how good the friendship is between Shulk and Reyn. There's so many scenes between them. I would say there's more scenes between Shulk and Reyn than almost any other character in the whole series. Like, there's so many great Shulk and Reyn cutscenes. And, he's just such an amazing, supportive friend. He doesn't have any crazy, like, character arc, but the character arc that he does have is, like, very satisfying, you know? He's there to protect Shulk in the beginning of the game, and slowly Shulk becomes stronger, and then, like, he kind of feels like he's not as needed, but once he talks over it with Shala, he realizes, like, you know, like, obviously Shulk is probably strong enough on his own now, but everyone needs someone to watch their back, and Reyn is that person. You know, he's going to be there to support you until the very end, which he does. So, just an amazing character. His relationship with Shala is great. You know, he definitely, you can see how much he cares for Shala. His relationship with Dunban, Fiora, and Melia is all kind of similar. They all kind of shit on him, and it's hilarious. Just, like, some of the lines that you hear post-battle, and I don't know, it's so funny. And Ricky, I didn't even include Ricky. His relationship with almost every character except for Shulk and Shala is just hilarious. So he just puts a smile on my face every time I see him. Just my favorite character in the series, most quotable character. Obviously, if you could tell by all my alerts, I have, like, how many Reyn sound alerts do I have? Like 5 on here? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4, but 5 including the follower alert. So, Reyn, I feel like these days Reyn is totally underrated as a character, but in my opinion, Reyn is the best character in the series. My personal opinion. I can understand why other people don't think he's the best, just because you could argue Malos and Jin and Mithra and Shulk and all these characters have way more impact, but I don't give a shit. Reyn is just peak, and that is it. But we're not really done, because this tier list is annoying, and there's no future redeem characters, which I realized a little too late. So we're going to do the future redeem characters separate. I'll try to add this separately. If we could find a tier list that has the future redeem characters on it, that would be nice. Let's see. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna try to quickly redo redo this list.
Man, what a bunch of jokers.
What a bunch of jokers! Indeed. Dude, Jaden, I'm kind of curious. While I try to rebuild this tier list, just so I could get a picture of all of it together, I'm kind of curious about who are some of your favorites, because I feel like I'm always kind of curious to see what people think of some of the characters. What is this? This is Xenoblade X. I want to put on some cool songs. I don't know the song. Zeke! Yeah, take all the time you want. I'm kind of just wrapping up here, just rebuilding this tier list. What the hell? Play. Here we go. All the MCs. Yeah, I mean, I think all the Xenoblade characters, like all the Xenoblade protagonists, have some incredible moments. No doubt about that. Zeke. Obviously, as you could tell, I'm a huge Zeke fan. Zeke is top 6 characters. I think Zeke is incredible. So fun. It's really the characters that have fun personalities generally are at the top of my tier list. Like, every single one of these characters is pretty fun. I'd say Alvis and Jin are kind of like an exception. Everyone else is pretty fun, you know? You know? Dunban, you could argue. I feel like Dunban has some pretty great, funny moments, though, too. Kind of like I mentioned earlier, but... Really, the characters that I think are the funniest are generally some of my favorites, because I have place such a high value on humor. Because just comedy is peak. But... Let's, gotta make... So I had C, D... This is the irrelevant... Oh no, this isn't the right one. I gotta get rid of this one. I think top 3 should... Yeah, N, especially with Future Redeemed right now, I said N is easily the best... Easily, I think he's the most well-written character in the base game, Xenoblade 3, and almost Future Redeemed as well. Very well done, and was very good. Definitely one of my favorite. I liked N more than all of the main protagonists in Xenoblade 3. I think there's only one character that I like, maybe 1 or 2 in Future Redeemed that I like more than N, and I'll talk about them shortly, but I really need to focus up and put down these characters. I think I had Dunga on D tier. I gotta try to remember. I'm gonna cross this over for a second. I think Yumeo is on D tier. Maybe she was E tier. No, I didn't have an E tier. Fuck. Bridget was B tier, I think. Dunban. Gotta make one more. Yeah, I was kind of annoying I didn't catch that. Catch that ahead of time, but... Jane, which one is your favorite, though? Which Xenoblade game is your favorite one? I'm gonna have to reorganize these once I put everyone in place. What the hell is this? Is that thing supposed to be... Is this supposed to be fucking... What is this supposed to be? Is that supposed to be A? Or, Alpha? Or is that supposed to be the Goldo? I don't even know what this is. I'll worry about that later, I guess. I don't know if I put... I think Lorthea put on C. Kyle is A. Sorion is C, I think. Tyree is B, Fiora is S tier, Zeke S tier, Alvis S tier, Eggle A tier, Lunata's mid. You think 3 is your favorite? Each has a major impact. Yeah, really? That's crazy. I feel like a lot of people really love Xenoblade 3. I think Future Redeemed was absolutely incredible. I thought the base game was really good too. I think I have more of a connection to the first 2 games though. Especially like Xenoblade 1, like I said, I think it's always going to be my favorite Xenoblade game no matter what. It's going to be my favorite video game I think ever, just period. I don't know if there's going to be anything that's able to beat it just because of the impact it's had on me, like you said with Xenoblade 3. Really just such a profound impact on my life overall. Just so many things. I'm gonna get back to this though. There's a few characters on here that actually I think actually were not on the other list that I could talk about, I guess. That's a good thing to joke about. And I mean, Noah and Mio, I think Noah and Mio are the best couple in the series other than Shulk and Fiora. Actually, no, I lied. I think they're the best couple in the series except for Shulk and Fiora and Jin and Laura. They're after them. I think Noah and Mio are better than Rex and Pyra and Mithra. I think Rex, Pyra, and Mithra and Nia, I guess, are pretty great, but yeah, there's a few characters here that we missed out on. Shala, B tier, Dromark, B tier, Dixon, Jin, Laura, Zeke. I'm sorry, you're very close to being in the Trinity, but not quite. Padraig. Where did I put Padraig? I put him somewhere in B tier, I think. Yeah, that's true. I never really thought about it that way. I was in a long distance relationship at one point as well, so I could definitely relate. Jane, who is this supposed to be? Who is this guy? Do you know who this is? Because I don't. He was in Xenoblade 3 or Future Redeemed. I don't even know who this guy is. I don't know. Dude, who the fuck is this? This guy is from Torna as well. Well, he's irrelevant. I don't know who this is. This is like some corrupt Inderline guy. Right now I'm hovering this guy. Do you know who this is? I don't know who this is. This person that I'm... I don't even know who that character is. I don't remember them at all. Looks like... Do you know? Guernica, I think I put on beats here. Oh yeah, there's a few characters you missed out on here. Yeah, so true. I don't know. And that character's on both lists as well. I don't know how that is possible, but... Did I put Izzet in D tier or C tier, dude? I fucking forget, man. Irrelevant characters. That's why that's there. I'm just not gonna put in the characters. Like, I don't know why some of the heroes from Xenoblade 3 are here. Garvel's D tier. Did I put him in D tier or irrelevant? Dude, I haven't listened to a lot of Xenoblade X music because I haven't played through the whole game. I really liked the was it the unique monster? Was it Black Tar? That theme is great. I think that was on earlier. Okay, Monica I think was C tier. Euloginimos was C tier. I don't know what this is. Banner was B tier, I think. Dougal I think was C tier. Minorth was B tier. This is Nile. I think he was C tier. I think Gramps was C tier. Uncontrollable. Yeah, tyrants were unique monsters, right? Your voice. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to listen. Which is the one that goes? That's the one I'm talking about. It's been years since I tried to play X, dude. Years. This is Hugo. Pandoria. Amalthus. Hayes. Klaus. Milton. Gion. Did I put him in B tier? I think I put him in C tier. Yeah, that's the regular battle theme. That theme is so good. I can't believe that's the regular battle theme. Like, what the hell? That's insane. Alright, we're almost there, folks. We're almost... I need to reorganize these, but... the Skell battle. No, I remember hearing it when I played the game. I know that for sure. Alright, almost there. Boliaris. N. Who is your favorite character from Future Redeemed? I know who mine is, and I'll get to them in just a bit. Dude, I would love to see you stream. That would be kind of a funny role reversal, because I followed you the other day, I think. So, Uni, Lands, Noah, Kamaravi, Gort. What did I put Gort? Did I put him C tier? Top of C tier, maybe? Dude, I'm gonna have like a 2-hour yap video of this shit. Definitely N? Damn, dude. Yeah, N had such a good moment at the end there. Very good. Yeah, it's gonna be weird. Like, I told some of my friends, I was like, yeah, I'm done with Future Redeemed tomorrow, so it's gonna be weird not playing a Xenoblade game anymore as like my main game. Like, I have a lot of great ideas, but it's gonna be very different. Very, very different. Oh, this tier list doesn't have Wolfric. That's sad. They took Wolfric out. Here's M. Did I put M in A tier? I think I put M in B tier. I think I'll have to look back. Alright, we're almost there. Is there anyone else we haven't put in yet? Mwamba. I think I put him in C tier somewhere, I think. X, I definitely put him like bottom of C tier, I think. And then, yeah, it's just the Future Redeemed gang. Alright, I think we're good. I gotta take this. I could do Xenoblade X. I don't know. I'm not really in the mood to play Xenoblade X right now, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of games I'm actually really interested in playing, though. It's not... It's less of me, like missing Xenoblade. I think it's just gonna be weird because it's been so long. I've been trying to stream Xenoblade 3 since last... Well, technically 2 years ago now, 2022 July. It's been like almost over like a year and a half now. Like, that's like nuts, you know? Like, I can't believe that. Well, let's start with the ones that we know. I think I put Shulk here. Do I like... Nah, I think I like Shulk more than Poppy. I love Poppy, but... Jin, I put at the top. Mumka, I think I put here. Zeke was here. Fiora. Alvis. Morag is not here. The Colonel is not in here. I think that's everyone? Question mark. Alright, where did I put this? Alright. Oh, they don't have Sever on this list. That's a shame. I guess Sever is not going on my S tier. That's okay. And once again, I don't know why this game has this tier list has random Xenoblade 3 heroes, but they don't have any rare blades from Xenoblade 2. Okay, so Dixon, Adam, Melia, and Laura. Where the fuck is Laura? There she is. Laura. Ricky. I think Callian is B tier. Morag. Malthus. Uni. Pyra. Rex. No, Rex. Oh, no, Mikhail. Mikhail. Egil. Oh. Then Rex. Then Mio. Then Lance. Then the Colonel. And Klaus. Well, I'll put Klaus before the Colonel. Dromarko's B tier. Okay, Zanza, Pandoria, Noah, Tora, Van Damme. Where is he at? There he is. Get over there. Then M, then Senna. There she is. Then Tyon. Then Callian. Damn, this is kind of annoying. My planning skills are fucking shite, dude. I swear to God. Shala. Hayes. Shania. Kamaravi. Ethel. Where is she? There we go. Then Brigid. Then Dromark. Then Riku. Akos. Dude, this fucking driver theme is so good. What is this? Oh, this is the Fog Beast theme. This is great. The fact that this is in Future Redeemed, that was crazy. Yeah, you're good. I'm literally just reorganizing the fucking tier list so that I could have one nice picture of all of it together, you know? Because this has the Future Redeemed characters on it, so that would have been annoying. Plus the other one was missing a few, I think. Okay, Akos. Where am I? Okay, Akos. Minoff. Hugo. Miyabi. And Banna. Actually, dude, fuck that. I don't like Banna more than Zord. I like Zord more than Banna. Fuck that shit. Put Zord there. Thoron. Yeah, I think that's that. I think I'm happy with that. C tier is... I put Wolfric first. But I'm going to start off with Main F. Main F is top of C tier. Then Gort. Then Rock. Then Zed. Nile. Where is... There he is, Yorin. Gramps. Aegeon. Dougal. Gatto. Euloginomos. Saurian Antiqua. Monica. Yeah, the C tier. Actually, I would say I was surprised how balanced this tier list ended up being. Like, I think I actually did a really good job at balancing out every tier. I thought it was going to be a little unbalanced, where I'd have way too many characters in like A tier or B tier, but ended up being pretty perfect, honestly. Which, pretty dope. Cannot lie. Okay, back to business though. So Monica, and then I have Yagonica, Nimue, Milton, Juju, then Nicole, and Vinaya, and then Chris. Who else? We only have a few more. Yeah, Kino and Nene. Gondor. Dunga is actually in this tier, actually. And then I had X here. So I put Mui in D tier, actually, as I did as well with Bully Aris and this guy, Dirk, I think. Yeah, I put Dirk in D tier. Did I put Lorthea in D tier as well? Yeah, I did. I put Umea irrelevant. Jaden, so yeah, I have a lot of games I want to play. Basically, I was thinking about playing next. I think I'm gonna play GTA. I was playing GTA 4 like last year around this time, and I was having a lot of fun. But then I ended up getting back into Xenoblade 3. Obviously, I took a huge break. So I'm going to play GTA 4. I'm probably going to pick up from where I left off. There'll probably only be a few streams of that, because it's nowhere near as long as Xenoblade 1 or Xenoblade 3 that we've been doing. But that, and then there's a bunch of other games. Like, I want to play the new Pokemon. I want to play like Scarlet Violet. I've had that for like a year and I haven't opened it because I wanted to do it on stream. I want to do Pikmin 4 because Pikmin is one of my favorite series and I haven't played that yet. I want to do Deltarune Chapter 2. I never played that. It's been years and it came out. I want to play that. I was thinking about also replaying Undertale and Deltarune Chapter 1. Metroid Prime. I've heard that's a great game. I haven't played that, so yeah, Pikmin 4. I'm so excited. Pikmin 2 was one of my favorite. I'd say Pikmin 2 is probably one of my top 10 games of all time. The other ones are great too, though. Okay, I'm gonna try to finish this. Who else do we have here that doesn't belong? We have Tilan. Tilan is the bottom of D tier because he's practically irrelevant. No Abrona on this tier list, but we're not really missing out on much. The King of Torna was pretty low. Where is... yeah. Leonardo is pretty low. And Lorthea. It's good to hear, man. I plan on also doing some different cosplays going forward because... I mean, I really only did Dunban so much because it was Xenoblade, naturally. But I have a ton of other cosplays that I'm very excited to show off on stream. And that's going to be really exciting. Also a lot more comfortable because this costume is not the most comfortable. I'm going to be honest with you. So, not just Xenoblade, Jaden. I've got a lot of interesting cosplays that you're probably quite surprised to see. I'm planning on making... I'm assuming you follow me on TikTok. I'm gonna be making an Alvis cosplay. I haven't worked on it in months, but hopefully in the next few months I could get to work on that. And then I'll try to replay some Xenoblade stuff at some point with that cosplay. So I think that would be really cool, but that's nowhere close to being finished right now. Imagine going back to Future Redeemed in like a year or two and playing as Alvis. I think that would be so meta. That would be fucking crazy. Okay. Queen of Uriah is down here. Lorthea. And this guy. Then who do I have? Mui. I had Bolearis slightly higher, I think. I had these two guys over here. Where was... Oh, Izzard is not in this list, okay. Or is he? No, it doesn't look like it. No Izzard in this list either. It's fine. I don't like Juniper. I guess, I don't know. Yo. Yeah, A only challenge. That would be kind of hype. A is pretty good, but by herself, that'd be kind of tough. She does have the right ability, though. She's got the vision, which is huge. Okay, I think we're almost there. Garvel. Oh yeah, Garvel I put on irrelevant. He's there next to all these guys who suck. Gaelgar and this guy are at the bottom though, because they're just they're just the worst of the worst. I think I put this guy actually below Gaelgar because that guy just sucks at everything. Yeah, and then the future connected guys. I think we're there now. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. Now, okay, there's a few more characters we have to go through now. Not many, but we're going to wrap up here. Starting with, we have Ricky's wife. It's Oka. She's going to be D tier because she's basically irrelevant, but I still do like her more than... I put her there because she's the kind of wife that, I don't know, she seems to be with Ricky only because he's, like, getting, like, money. I feel like I've read the dialogue of Ricky's wife, and she's like, yeah, Ricky, if you don't get enough money, we're getting divorced. And for that alone, I'm out. Don't like Ricky's wife very much. She has one line in the whole fucking story, and I don't know. I get bad vibes from Ricky's wife. She pumped out that many kids, like, I don't know. There's something not right there, so... I don't know what this is, honestly. What is this thing? Is this the Goldo? I think this is either... Or is that supposed to be Alpha? I don't even know. Anyway, irrelevant, because I don't know what it is. Fog... Oh, the Fog King! Okay, the Fog King, I guess, would go... I'd still probably put the Fog King above all these guys. Fog Beast. That's so funny. The Fog King is a character in itself. There's the Fog King right there. Right where he belongs. Pipunin. Pipunin, I will put slightly... I'm going to put Pipunin right in front of the Queen of Uriah because he has like one funny line and that's about it. So low D tier for Pipunin. A great character, you know, great addition to the cast. Patroka I talked about a little bit. I put Patroka like... Probably put Patroka like maybe here. Not a great character. The weakest of Torna by far. She has a fun weapon if you play as her as a rare blade, but her personality is pretty trash, and she's not very good. Just like this, she doesn't have too much going for her lore wise. Akos is just way more interesting. So Patroka is kind of high C tier. She's not the worst, but a bit annoying. Oh, who's this? This is, dude, this is the Praetor. This is the Praetor that gets assassinated. So I kind of feel bad for him, so I'm gonna put him above the scumbag. I'm gonna put him above the scumbag into line guys who betray him, because I'll give him that much. But he doesn't even have. He's in the ending cutscene where there's only music, so he doesn't get a line. Neither I think does this guy. I don't think this guy gets a line either, if I'm mistaken. It's been a while since I played Torna, so. Okay, now we have Nira. This guy actually like saves you in chapter 4. He's kind of the same as Teelin, I guess, so I'll put him at the bottom of D tier. Yeah, I was like, I didn't recognize this one. I assume it's Xenoblade X. Yeah, some of these songs are pretty good, I can't lie. So Nira goes here because he did help the squad, but pretty much just as much as Teelin did, so they're on the same tier. Iona I'll put at the top of irrelevant because she's kind of harmless, but she also is just completely irrelevant other than she was bait for Malos. So congratulations, Iona, you're at the top of irrelevant tier list. Now we have Lila. Honestly, oh, I have Izzard up here as well. I'm meant to move Izzard down here. Lila, huh? I would probably put Lila over here in like kind of lower C tier. She's not great. She's like worst version of Poppy, but I think the fight between Poppy and Lila was kind of cool, honestly. A lot more interesting than anything that happens between the characters that are below her. So, honestly, not the worst. It was kind of cool to see her for a little bit, but once again during a really mid-chapter. So, Lila's alright. Cool design. This guy is the senator that... initiates the Titan weapon. So this guy is probably going to be right here next to Garvel. Because he is totally irrelevant. I would say Garvel is more relevant than him. I would say the Fog King's actually more relevant than him too, so he gets to go right next to the Praetor who dies. Oh, here's Rex's mom. It's Aunt Corinne. She's definitely on D tier somewhere. I would say I actually like Lorithia more than Rex's mom, because she has the one good cutscene with Pyra, but that's about it. Like, she didn't really need to be there. She was just there to explain, like, Rex's backstory, and for that reason only, so just not great. So D tier for Aunt Corinne. Alright, we're really getting down to the wire here. I think it's just Future Redeemed. Oh, look, it's this guy. This guy's, what is this? This is the guy who gets you the boat in Xenoblade 3, the main game, right? What is his name? It's, I'm trying to think of his name offhand. Shit. What is his name? Jaden, do you know his name? The Nopon? Fuck. Alright, well, the fact that I can't remember his name... I think it starts with an S, right? It starts with an S, I think. Well, he's in a relevant tier list. He'll go right below Iona, because I don't remember his name, and he's not that important, so... irrelevant tier for Nopon who gets you the boat in Xenoblade 3. Okay, here we are. We are finally at the Future Redeemed characters, and I'm kind of going to try to go by in order in terms of tiers. Shala, or what's her name? Panacea. Where do I want to put Panacea? She's definitely not going to be that high. That's for sure. I would probably put her, like, right here. I would probably put both of them right here. Linka and Panacea are low C tier. Just because they don't do much. Like, they didn't really need to exist in Future Redeemed. Like, what did they really do? It's cool that Zeke, Pandoria, Ryan, and Shala had children, but considering how good those characters are, you'd expect their children to be at least somewhat interesting, which they really aren't, so yeah, low C tier for both of them, unfortunately. Probably the worst characters in Future Redeemed, sadly, but the second boat theme, is that the one when you upgrade it? Is it not? I don't exactly know what you're talking about. What was the theme that just played? That was a good one. I remember that was oh, when you're at Origin. Gotcha. This was a good theme, yeah. I gotta get back into more Xenoblade 3 OST now that I've finished. I'm gonna add a lot to this playlist, so that's gonna be really cool. This is one of my favorite themes from Xenoblade 2. This incoming theme, all it reminds me of is like fighting Malos and fighting Morag at the end of Chapter 2. Like, this theme is fucking banger. So good. Alright. Who else do we have? I guess we could get Granddad Gondor. I'm probably gonna put him here. Why is Mwamba ahead of these guys? I definitely should put Mwamba lower. I think I put him down here or something like that. Sorry, Mwamba. Actually, I'll put you right here. Gondor, Granddad Gondor. I'll put him right here. Yeah, it seems height. Granddad Gondor. Honestly, really cool guy. That cutscene at the end with him was great. Honestly, amazing. If only we got to see more of him. He's only in really like 2 cutscenes, but those are pretty banger cutscenes. So that's pretty worth high C tier for Grandpa Gondor. Pretty dope. Had a cool moment, but then again, a lot of these C tier characters have like a good moment or two. You know, that's kind of the staple of this tier. It's like a few good moments, but nothing too crazy. I honestly don't know where to put Alpha. This is kind of a tricky one because, like, Alpha is pretty similar to Zed, honestly. Like, I think I would put Alpha. I kind of want to put him. This is hard. I might put Alpha here in low B tier. Like, Alpha, the whole fact that he's like Alvis is like really cool, but it doesn't really go too much further than that. Like, he's just kind of an entity that exists for a purpose, which was really his character. So it's not really, there's no real personality he has. He's literally just a computer, which his design is amazing, but obviously Alvis is up here in S tier. But yeah, Alpha, like, I think he's more of a prop than a character, but he's really cool, and the final boss is awesome, so he gets B tier just for that alone. I think Nicole is also going to be in B tier. I'm going to put Nicole. What do I want to put Nicole? I'd probably put Nicole like right here ahead of Senna. I thought Nicole was actually kind of cool. He I don't know, he's kind of just like a nice little kid who he's very similar. He's similar to Shulk from Xenoblade 1, except you know, he doesn't really get to mature. We don't get to see his like full growth, you know. He's smart with his machines. He you know, him and Matthew have kind of a cool like older brother, younger brother dynamic kind of thing. He cares about Glimmer. And his interactions with Shulk were great. So definitely the least fun character to play in Future Redeem, but Nicole I thought was still pretty good, and he has a cool weapon, so Nicole gets pretty, he's like high B tier for Nicole. And I think Glimmer I'm gonna put right next to Nicole as well. Glimmer, I really wish we got to see more of Glimmer, like in terms of personality, because throughout most of Future Redeemed, I feel like Glimmer is like very like, she's very like to herself. I wish she like opened up more than she did. Like, her main character was like just being kind of hesitant and like upset about not making it to the homecoming, and obviously she starts to like kind of relate to Rex towards the end, and like they bonded a little bit, but I thought it could have been done a little bit better, honestly. I think she's still cool, and her weapon and design is awesome. And Sky, like, she's not Sky Bennett. Sky Bennett doesn't voice Glimmer, but it's pretty much the same thing, so you can't go wrong with that. So Glimmer is pretty good. Glimmer is like high B tier as well as Nicole. They kind of go together pretty well. Now, this is tough. Now we've got A. Where do I want to put A? This is kind of tough. I'm trying to think. Like, A is cool. I feel like I don't like A as much as some other people do. This is kind of a tough one. Which I don't know what to do. I might put A. Maybe right here in A tier. I think A is super interesting in concept. Like, the whole point is her character is the, you know, the, what's it called? The morals of Alvis, which I think is really cool in concept. I wish she, I don't know, I would, like kind of like a Glimmer. I wish she, like, her conversations between, like, Shulk and, like, the older characters was really good. But I wish she, like, had, like, a really big emotional scene. Like, I don't know. I wish there was a scene where she went, like, ape shit, or, like, she got really, like, upset. I would have really liked to have seen that, but oh well. A is still pretty good, and she's a lot of fun to play. Awesome design, and whatnot. Played a really good role in Future Redeemed. So, A is pretty solid in A tier. And finally, we have Matthew, the protagonist of Future Redeemed. Matthew, I actually loved. I thought Matthew is the best character in Future Redeemed. He's going in the S tier. I just realized there's no Future Redeemed Rex or Shulk here, which is kind of unfortunate. But Matthew is such a good protagonist. He's like Adam, but slightly better, which makes sense. So he's like, I don't know. He had a lot of charisma. He's like, he had a lot of similarities to Adam. You know, he was kind of like the leader of the city, or like he acted like the leader of the city. He like brought people together. You know, he was like the leader of the group. Very like upbeat and like funny, but like, you know, took things seriously when like the time came. And at the end, like standing up to N and then Alpha, like Matthew is awesome. What a great character. Definitely like one of the rare times where the protagonist is my favorite character. But Matthew is great, and he's fun to play. Spam fucking arts with Matthew. Uses bare fucking fists. That's dope. As for Future Redeemed Shulk and Rex, I would probably put Future Redeemed Rex like up here, probably next to N or in front of N. Rex Future Redeemed is so cool. He was really a Chad, and one of the most fun characters to play in terms of gameplay. Really cool design, had both the swords. You could see a lot of Van Damme in him, which was kind of awesome. You know, the callback to Xenoblade 2, that whole thing. He's a great character, like the kind of gruff, like tough love father figure who's still pretty smart and strong. Pretty epic. Great character. I'd probably put him right in front of Laura, or in front of N or Melia, around this area, I think. And Future Redeemed Shulk, I would probably put probably put Future Redeemed Shulk around this area as well in the A tier. I'm trying to think, where would I put Future Redeemed Shulk? I think I might put him like near Pyra. I'd probably put him around Pyra and Mikhail and Uni over here. I thought Rex and Shulk and Future Redeemed were great. Most of the main cast in Future Redeemed was very strong. Definitely stronger than the base game, in my opinion. And they had way less time on screen, but that is it. That is the definitive tier list of the Xenoblade series, minus Xenoblade X. This is objectively the truth, and everyone else who says otherwise is wrong. So yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is it, Jaden. Jaden, what do you think is my best take on here? What's my worst take on this tier list? I'm curious to see what other people think. I'm gonna make a TikTok out of this, obviously, but I'm gonna do something else real quick, actually. This is gonna be quick, though. All of the Trinity is goated. Hell yeah, dude. The Trinity here, like, these three characters are just so iconic, so good. I mean, same as S tier. All these S tier characters, even A tier. I literally, even in C tier, I still like most of these characters. Like, these characters have good moments. I think D tier and below, like, not great, obviously. But I would say, like, around this midpoint of C tier and onwards, even like low C tier, like, has some decent moments. That N isn't in the Trinity. N was great. Yeah, I don't know. N, I think I don't know. N is really good, but I feel like he was very close to S tier, but I don't know if I could put him in S tier. Definitely not the Trinity. The Trinity, like, these three have such like it would take time to get into the Trinity. Like, maybe in a few years I'll reconsider, and maybe someone else will join the Trinity. Someone, I don't know. We'll see. But I really liked N, especially after Future Redeemed. I think you could make the argument that he's definitely in, like, S tier. He's definitely up there. I could see. He's great. But yeah, for me personally, I don't think he's better than all these characters. Maybe Melia. For most people, I would definitely say Dixon. I just really like Dixon personally, which is why he's this high, but yeah, I'm pretty proud of this tier list. I think it turned out pretty great. I think I was pretty fair in all. I thought there would be a lot more Xenoblade 3 bias, or like bias against Xenoblade 3, but I think I actually made it pretty fair to the point where obviously, like, the Xenoblade 3 characters minus Matthew aren't in the S tier, but still, all this stuff's very fresh, you know? The fact that even Matthew just made the S tier was pretty great, considering I just finished the fucking game. And A is pretty fair spot in S tier, or an A tier as well. A only fit in the A tier, obviously. Why wouldn't A be in the A tier? Ontos. Okay. So now, we're not done yet. We're not quite yet. We are going to do a Xenoblade game tier list, which obviously there's only like 6 technically, but if I could find it. No. Xenoblade. There's got to be one that just has the games. Come on. I would love to do just a bunch of Xenoblade tier lists. Like, I should have another stream where I do more tier lists for Xenoblade. Where the hell? Xenoblade. I feel like I've seen one before. Xenoblade main series games. Classes. I'm definitely doing one for Rare Blades, and I think I'm gonna have one stream where I just do, yeah, like, do OST ranking, do area ranking, doing like Rare Blades, like classes, and then there's like a lot I could do actually. I love just talking about this shit. It was actually a lot of fun for me to do this. What is this? Oh, this is a random protagonist tier list. Here we go. Xenoblade main series titles. We found it. Okay, this is it. This is going to be probably pretty quick. So Xenoblade X, I never finished, but I gotta sort this out with C tier. Xenoblade X really was not for me. I'm gonna go back to it and give it another shot one day, but based off what I played, the characters were extremely generic and not interesting, hardly in the slightest. I wasn't a big fan. The story wasn't super intriguing either. I don't know. It didn't have much going for it. The UI was atrocious. You couldn't read anything. The only thing I thought was really cool about Xenoblade X was the fact that you could do like a moon jump. I never got to the point where I could use the skells, which was sad, but I was at chapter like 6 or something like that. I didn't get the skells, so fuck that. Xenoblade X is C tier for the time being. And next up, Future Connected is going to be in B tier. Future Connected is not the greatest, but it's definitely got some merit. Like I mentioned throughout the characters, I think the one thing that Future Connected really has going for it is the relationship between Melia and Tyrea. That's definitely the strongest moments in Xenoblade Future Connected. It was cool that we got to see Shulk and Melia again. I think that was really epic. But the story is really not super interesting. Nothing really happens. All I remember is like they get there and then they talk to some random high entiers and then they there's Grandel. Like I don't really remember what happens, if I'm gonna be honest with you, but story wasn't great. Characters were really not great, minus obviously Shulk and Melia and Tyrea. Didn't care for Kino and Nene. It's B tier. I liked it more than Xenoblade X, that's for sure. But going into A tier, we have Xenoblade 3, the main game. Base game Xenoblade 3. I feel like I shit on Xenoblade 3 main game a lot, but it really is quite an amazing game. Like, it's so tough to judge because relatively compared to the rest of these, like, I can't help but shit on it, but it had a pretty solid story. I think it took way too long to get to the point where I was actually invested. Like, I would say the end of Chapter 4 or whatever, around Chapter 4 was when the story actually got good, which is too long considering there's only 7 chapters. So yeah, I mean, but the characters are pretty good. There's some great story moments. The gameplay was a lot of fun, and the exploring was pretty great. So Xenoblade 3 main game is A tier. Spoiler alert, the rest of the games are S tier. And starting with Torna from Xenoblade 2. Torna, when I first played it, I was like, holy shit, this is probably the best DLC I've ever played for any game, period. And it probably is still up there, but obviously, as you could tell by the tier list, there's going to be something above it now. But Torna was amazing. The way they, you know, the fact that they were able to make, a story that added so many new characters, blended it with the old cast, and was able to make such a good team and like so many great moments and new like character like dynamics and like the overall story with Mallows. Like it was so well done. Like it's the areas are beautiful, the sound, the songs, the soundtrack is amazing, very memorable. Obviously the quests, the fact they had to do all the quests was brutal, but for me that's not really the worst thing. Yeah, Mallows as the main villain was amazing. Laura and Gort and Jin, like all those characters are so good. Really great cast. So, and the gameplay was awesome. It was a nice twist on Xenoblade 2's gameplay. So, S tier for Torn of the Golden Country. Mario, what's up, dude? I'm still alive. Yeah, I'm about to end off here, but I'm just finishing the tier list. I made a character tier list, and it took quite a while because I yapped for every single character. So, it's been a long time. But we're almost done. Alright, next up, Future Redeemed, which I just finished. What an incredible experience, dude. Future Redeemed? Wow, like, Future Redeemed pretty much did every single thing right. Like, introduced a great new cast of characters, made such a cool new world. The story was incredible, and just like everything about it was so good. I think the only thing I could complain about in Future Redeemed is the fact that they didn't bring back more of the characters from the old games. That was pretty much it. I think if they had done that, this would have been like 100, like a 10 out of 10, 100. It's still, I would say, pretty much a 10 out of 10, all things considered. But yeah, what an amazing story. Loved the characters. I think this game got the gameplay the best out of any, like the AP system was probably the best gameplay mechanic out of any of the mechanics in the whole series. I think that was the most satisfying and like thoughtful approach to the gameplay. Like literally everything you do, whether you like exploring or watching the heart-to-hearts or like finding the relics or fighting unique monsters or doing quests, like there was a gain to doing every single one of those things. Like that was genius. Like absolutely just perfect. What a great DLC. And the fact that it's over is just mind-blowing, but incredible. S tier, Future Redeemed. Next up, Xenoblade 2. It's so hard to judge these because all these are so fucking good, dude. Yeah, Mario, you should try this for anime. Xenoblade 2 is a masterpiece. I thought after Xenoblade 1, especially after Xenoblade X, that there would never be a game like Xenoblade 1 ever again. Boy, was I wrong. Once I played Xenoblade 2, I was like, wow, this game is definitely a little different from Xenoblade 1. But as the story went on, it definitely, like, rivaled it. Like, they are definitely neck and neck, pretty much for me. Incredible cast of characters, incredible story. The combat is probably the best in the series. I think it's the most replayable one. A lot of people shit on the gacha, but I think the gachas. I think the only two really bad things about Xenoblade 2, the main game, are the Merc missions and the field skills. And I think if the field skills were tweaked a little bit, they would have been fine. But other than that, almost everything about Xenoblade 2 is amazing. Great, what an amazing world. The fact that they connected it to the original game through a crazy universe thing was nuts. Incredible. But there's only one spot for number one, and it's gotta be Xenoblade 1. This game has changed my life indefinitely. I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for Xenoblade 1. I wouldn't have started doing YouTube. I probably wouldn't have started doing voice acting. So much of my life changed as a result of Xenoblade 1, just because of the characters and the story. As such a affinity, if you know what I mean, towards everything about Xenoblade 1. Like, there's not a single mechanic in Xenoblade 1 that I dislike. Like, everything is good. I can't complain about anything in Xenoblade 1. Like, you could nitpick, say, like, stuff like, oh, the ether mine was a bad area. For me, I have never gone through the ether mine and have been like, oh, I have to go through the ether mine. Like, it's just another area. I don't hate going through it. A lot of people can say the combat's too simple, or they don't like it. I don't care. I think it's great. Fast-paced. The chain attacks are like, you can do them quick and everything. I don't know. I love the characters. I love just the story. And it will forever be, I think, the number one game in my heart. But that is it for now. I finally did it. I think I'm going to be done for this evening, but here's the tier lists. I will be making a YouTube video / TikToks out of this. Thank you to everyone who stuck around. Jaden, I know you've been here for quite a long time. And Mario, you were here. Yeah, this is fucking epic, man. I am going to find someone to raid. Ooh, I'm going to raid my one friend. It's one girl who plays these games. I'm going to wait till the ad's over, but this is
I think a fly bit me!
I think a fly bit me! But yeah, my journeys in Xenoblade 3 have come to an end. Very bittersweet. It's been crazy. But this is it. Next time, we'll be playing a different game. But I definitely plan on doing... yeah, Mario, go live. I'll raid you. Yeah, next time we'll be playing a different game and a different costume. But I plan on doing some more Xenoblade tier list down the line that I'll probably do on stream. I think that'll be a lot of fun. But, yeah. Thank you for the 5 bits, Mario. You're goated, man. And thank you for this. I think you subbed earlier, I think. Thank you for that if you did. But there was so much going on, it's hard to tell. But anyways, we're going to raid Eiliden. She's playing Until Dawn. I don't think I know this game, but we're going to do that. Raid. And that is going to be it. Mario. Yeah, Jaden is very deserving of mod. He earned it through his perfect track record here. But it's been real, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. It's been so much fun. And until next time, peace out.